All right. I think we should be ready in three, in two, and then hold on. Actually, there's something. Today I didn't really quite get the topic sheet prepared. I'm sorry, Drew. I told you about that, but the reason I did that was because I was busy with something. I was looking for music. I was looking for music for. You know how we went like 70, 76, 75 episodes without an intro because we had that one intro for like the special FrameCast. Well, better late than never. Let's go. So welcome everybody to the FrameCast. We're gonna have to see whether this works because like our heads are way bigger. So what we can also just do is we can just go back to the normal setting, or we can go back to to this, or maybe Drew wants to be bigger. We'll see how it goes. But welcome
I'm well impressed. Good job, fucking good job, man.
So yeah, welcome to the new FrameCast. It's just about done, like barely in time.
But would it fuck things up if I zoom out on my
nope,
webcam?
you can do whatever you want with your camera. It should be fine. If it crashes, we crash. It's whatever. We've already had a crash with 76. Oh boy. So
yeah, keep talking.
Yeah. No problem. All right. So while Drew addresses camera, don't worry about it though. Maybe the topic sheet may not be super big, but we do have. Ooh, wonderful! Woo! Fantastic! Look at that! That is perfect. I love it. So yeah, now we can be both together in the same frame, and whenever someone is talking about like something very important and you really need to see them, like we can just like zoom out to the full picture, or we can just be like, no, we want to stick together on the full screen because that's the way we hold conversations down. We may be a little bit like relaxed down, but that's all right. That's all right. By the way, if you listen to this in audio format, you're probably gonna have no clue what we're on about. But hey, something's changed. Something's changed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically, I thought it would be fun to like have this setup where we could both be like equally as big, sort of thing. And I also wanted to have some sort of intro because I think it's fun. But yeah, so that's something I've been working on for like the last week to like try and get this set up. But don't worry, we do actually have a bunch of topics for you today. Topics that will include, as I go over this right here, we have single-player Deathloop releases on the unobtained Station 5 with a PC version that's plagued by anti-piracy software. Honestly, this is something I'd love to get into because Deathloop seems like such a really cool game from as far as I've seen. I think the reviews have been kind of like alright, like not stellar, but like alright. However, I can't even try this game because like it's on PS5 and like you can't even buy PS5 in Europe right now. A year after launch, you can't buy it. But basically, like there's this anti-piracy software which on PC just ruins the game, and I'm just like, oh my god. But anyway,
I've got more to add to that.
Yeah, we're gonna jump into that later. We also have hardware level bans for PC gaming. Basically, do you remember those days where if you were in your Xbox and like your Xbox account got banned for like whatever reason, maybe you were like mean in a Call of Duty lobby, or maybe so where like they could brick your console. Basically, they're adding that to PC as well because, woo! The way that this works is you have the Trusted Platform module, which Windows really wants to have in Windows 11. The new Windows 11 software is coming up in October. In order to install that on your PC, they want you to have a Trusted Platform module, or TPM. That is basically a signifier on your, like a chip on your motherboard that has like a special code, so it signifies that this is this motherboard. And Valorant, Riot Games creator of Valorant has already come out that they want to use that, read that signifier on your motherboard, and if you get banned for cheating, they just ban your hardware. So you can no longer, with that PC, play that game because your TPM is like registered and that's banned. So that is something I really want to talk about because that could mean a lot.
Hell yeah.
Especially if it's going to be implemented like more and more, and maybe not even for cheating, but think about other purposes. Identifiers can be very, very interesting in the way that that's going to be implemented. And then we also have other news. Twitch makes a deal with National Music Publisher Associations, but the details are vague. It's kind of interesting what's going on there. A lot of really cool speculation has been going on, but it's kind of like, it's probably not as exciting as we think it is. And then we finally also have a topic last week. I think we talked about like this one video about Color Jobs, who like make this entire like documentary about what is it? About like this no, not gambling scene, this auction scene where people are like selling vintage games, like rare exclusive games as like a really high price, but it's kind of just like the grading company and the auction house colluding to like set that price stupid high to like
Yes.
make a bunch of money.
Yes, I remember you saying
And basically, like a Sonic copy has just sold for over $340,000, which is absolutely insane. That even the creator of the game has come out and says, like, "What the fuck? Is this right? This is a scam, right?" Which it absolutely, definitely, in my opinion, is. But we'll get into that later. First, though, let's get into Drew. What have you been playing last week? How have you been doing? What's been up with you?
that. So been playing a bit of Void Train. It's
Mm-hmm.
a great game for those of you who haven't actually played it. I'm going to ask you for the future when we go to this view, can we zoom me in a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, like you've just adjusted. I hate having that much empty space above my head.
Yeah.
But regardless, so playing some Void Train, still playing Sinnoh Alice on mobile. What else have I been doing? Final Fantasy 14. I got back into that.
Oh, nice.
It took me fucking forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I used to play Final Fantasy 14 way back when. The email address associated to the account, I lost the email address. So in order to reclaim the account,
Mm-hmm.
TLDR, I failed. To reclaim the account, I had to contact them to ask them to remove the password.
Mm-hmm.
That fell through. They said, "Oh, in order to change your password, you need to go through this process." I'm like, "Yes, but that requires me to have the email account, which I also don't have." I've given them my keys, my CD keys, and everything. Anyway, TLDR, I wasted weeks trying to get the original account back, and I just went, you know what? Fuck it. I just bought the whole thing again from scratch.
Oh,
And
damn.
like, yeah, I'm like, I don't care. I just want to play the fucking game at this point.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there? Then there's, I'm trying hard to remember now. So Final Fantasy 14. I played a bit of Warframe, discovering that the Ghoul's Saw was going to be disappearing next week, and I was like, oh damn, I need to fuck it. Because I thought it was Plague Star was hanging around until October, 30th or something. Like it was the end of October, but it turns out that wasn't the case.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Nice.
On other news, right? Kampai cast. So,
Oh, yeah.
so it's 5 weeks old, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, another podcast by the name of Kampai Cast appears, and
How suspicious.
I'm like, fuck. Seriously?
Yeah.
Like Loz messages both Nazeth and I while we're doing a stream on Nazeth's stream. And it's just like, oh dear God. Oh dear God, what the fuck do we do? So and I didn't want to confront them about it until we had secured the YouTube channel name.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, shit. But in order to secure the YouTube channel name, the account has to be a month old, which it literally was just, right? And we need to have over 100 subscribers. So I'm basically, I had to beg and plead people to subscribe. I even messaged you, didn't I?
Because like basically the problem is, for those who may not be aware, if there's another like another channel with like the same name, and they just happen to maybe become a little bit more popular, or they just happen to have 100 friends that will subscribe to them, they can take the name of like in the URL, so youtube.com/compicast, and basically when you are making your podcast and be like, hey guys, please go to YouTube to go to like Compicast, people are very much inclined to go to youtube.com/compicast, and then YouTube will give you the other person, and like even if they search for it, most likely like they will show up first, and you can't really do this like go to youtube.com/UCQ whatever like your string is, that's just ridiculous. So it's really important if you're gonna make a channel that you actually have a channel like link that actually combines to your channel. So this is why it was very important for Drew to actually get that
Yeah.
name before the other
Yeah.
people did, whoever
Yeah.
they may be.
I also managed to. Sorry, I also bought campicast.com and campi-cast.com. So I now own those
Clever.
domains. So it's like, but it just of all fucking things, like, and it's within such a small window because we were talking about, let's start in the next season. Let's start in the autumn season, which is the 1st of October. So these people would have beaten us to it. I was like, no, let's just start now.
Yeah.
You know,
Good
we
thing
got
you
loads of
guys
things.
started
Let's just
now.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
actually, like I do have an interesting story about that too, because there was another I have experienced something similar, not necessarily with a podcast of mine, but a podcast of a friend of mine, Defton. Like the podcast we were kind of at the birth of. I was there as well. It was called Tenno Talk. And we were doing the Tenno Talk podcast, which was first hosted on like Warframe fan channels with like some sort of event, and then we continued, like he continued that on, or we continued that on, like on a somewhat regular basis. I think you have been a guest on there as well.
Yep.
Basically, it would just be like 4 Warframe creators talk about some Warframe stuff. I think it lasted for like 5 or so episodes, which were both on like the Warframe fan channel and Defton's channel, which was a raid.
Yep.
But apparently, like between the first time that we aired that thing ever, which was I believe like October of 2018, and then the second time we aired the second episode, which was I think was that 2018 and 2019. There was like half a year in between those. Another podcast that popped up that used Tenno Talk as well, but we were just completely oblivious to it. So like at a certain point in time, like comments started popping up on Defton's podcast, like, "Hey, hey, you guys are stealing the name from this podcast." And like I think Defton was like, "Well, oh shit," but then he checked and he was like, "Well, we were first. Like we started like in 2018. You guys started in between the period that we were like on hiatus. So I mean, it's fair game, I guess. You know, you guys can use, like, he didn't really mind, but like he didn't mind both podcasts having the same name. However, it was kind of like unfortunate that there was a little bit of like friction in the comments, especially from like their end coming towards Defton. However, then I actually learned like later on, because like I actually checked out the podcast later. Their podcast changed name, which like if you hear about it, it's like, oh, that's sad. Especially if you see what I think were 2 people or something that had intense passion for the game, wanted to really like do a podcast about Warframe, which is like I thought was really cool. And then they have this other podcast which uses the same name, and then like had all like I think we had a couple of times we had DE people come on and stuff like that. Like I can imagine that like that must suck, but. And they ended up changing the name, which was kind of sad. But then at the same time, like the feeling that you feel like, oh man, like that is unfortunate. I wish that we could have done things could have been different. That actually changed when I learned that they actually like went ahead and like wrote to Defton and were like trying to like cease and desist him and like threatening him with lawyers and stuff. And Defton just called their bluff, being like, yeah, you're not gonna do that. But that is just like, dude, like, oh man, having 2 podcasts of the same name can just be rough.
What the fuck, even?
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yep.
I'm sorry, that's a bit scummy.
I mean, I can so like I can get from like to a certain point, I can understand if you just start a podcast and then like all of a sudden like for like a couple months in, because like it had been a while since we done the second episode, but like a couple months in, like another podcast shows up and it's like Mogamu, D Taylor, and it's called Tenno Talk. You're just like, dude, like can you imagine that you're just like 4 or 5 episodes into 10 o'clock and then like someone comes out with 10 o'clock as well, and it's like everyone's on there, like you'd be kind of like, fuck, kind of pissed.
Though to be fair, that did actually kind of happen to us because
Oh really?
Yeah, so there was the 10 o'clock news network, right? So they turned around. So DE Drew, who was handling the creators at the time, he turned to us and said, "Oh, we've got an application here for like 10 o'clock news. Are you do you want me to put a cease on this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine. It is what it is. I mean, if someone comes up with a name, someone comes up with a name." But yeah, so we didn't push anything.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, like, I'm pretty sure because we were there first, DE would have sided with us if they had to make a choice. I'm actually thinking about it. I don't think they would have picked
No,
sides. I think they would, but
I mean,
still, it wasn't the end of the world.
I mean, like at the end of the day, it's just like YouTube podcasts. So like, but I just had to laugh with like I don't know whether that's the way he said it to you, but just like the way how casual that sounded. Like, yo, hey, dude, do you just want me to put a C's on that?
Yeah, no. He was super fucking casual about it, and I'm like, no, it's fine, it's fine. I mean, 10 o'clock news is gone now. They gave up, but I mean, yeah, it is what it is.
I mean, to be honest, like I can understand because before I mean, like even up to this point, because like I really completely forgot about them, but I do remember seeing their site, and then I remember like when I first saw the site, I was like, is this something that you guys are like affiliated with? Like, I didn't know because like you still have, but even before had so much connections within Warframe with all sorts of people that would do a wide variety of shit. Like there would be people that would be making like Discord bots and like running amazing Discord servers. So I could very well imagine that you'd also have a group of people that would be maybe, oh man, we want to start we want to host a website, and you're just like, well, let's make it a 10 o'clock empire or something. So I could totally see that be something where it's like, oh yeah, just it's part of the, but then you guys never reference to it. So I was always like, what is this? I don't really know. But at the same time, you also have Mogami also had a website which used to be like a movie, games, and music website where like he posts reviews, and like that was never really mentioned by him on any of his videos. But if you go to the Wayback Machine, like it's so cool. I really got to ask him about this at some point in time because it's like the weirdest shit. Like it's insane. So like I was like, maybe just like a past project of you. But I mean, this kind of clears it up, I guess. Like good thing you didn't put a C's on it that easily.
Yeah. Well, I just don't think it's fair.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just YouTube, and like I know that YouTube right now is kind of like a big thing. However, it's not right now a big thing. Just like let's say that you're the size of like a Joe Rogan podcast or something, or you're the size of, I don't know, Linus Tech Tips or something. At that point in time, you kind of do want to like probably be more defending towards your brand. But if it's just like a game podcast where like, let's face it, I think that the average lifespan of like a gaming channel surrounded like focus on any specific game is like 2 or 3 years at most. Because like most people that we've been around with, like they've all quit.
Yeah, they've all pretty much left Warframe.
Yeah, but also kind of stopped posting as well. Like there's some that still continue on, but many of them, like, I can understand that you get tired of the game, that you want to play something else, but like a lot of them just like find it really hard to like find something new to try, or find something new to like dedicate themselves to, and it just kind of like move on with something else, which is totally fine because there's a lot more in this world to do. But it's interesting to see.
So, cool. Should we move on to our topics?
Yes, let's move on to the topic. Which topic do we want to begin with? I mean, let's start out with.
Actually, can it real brief thing?
Go ahead.
Right, super brief. So everyone knows, super sad about Blizzard, all the shenanigans. I discovered today that Bobby Kotick, CEO of Activision Blizzard, has actually been subpoenaed.
Yes, I saw about that.
Yeah, super happy about that.
Man, I feel so
just
bad
want to
for the
quickly.
guy.
Oh, so bad. But yeah, just wanted to quickly touch upon that, and so let's go through the topic.
I actually just found something which was kind of related to that, and I kind of want to touch upon that. I think it said it was just right here. Hold on, trying to find where it was. Oh yeah, Overwatch executive producer Chaco Sonny leaves Blizzard Entertainment.
So many of them have quit.
Just like
so many, yeah.
Yeah, it is. People are walking out, and honestly, I can understand. I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, you're bad for saying," because, like, honestly, people need a job, and like, there's honestly, I think there's a lot of passion also still behind projects that people have made. Like, I don't believe the entire company was filled with bad people. I believe that there definitely been people that have been very passionate towards like the projects that they built. So like if people are saying, like, I can understand, but I can also very understand if people are like, woo, if I get another opportunity, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, let's get into the very first topic of today, which is about the Deathloop game. Have you seen the Deathloop game? Have you seen anything?
briefly, not massively. I don't. Yeah, fill me
So
in.
so the idea about this Deathloop game, it's kind of interesting. It's like a first person shooter. So like the first time I heard that, I was like, oh, it's probably gonna be some sort of battle royale. It's probably gonna be some sort of like thing, whatever. I wasn't really interested. But then the entire premise, it's single player first person shooter, and
Yeah.
the idea is that like you spawn yeah, like you wake up inside like a room, or like you're at some sort of location where you need to get out by killing enemies within a day. You need to get out within a day and kill all the enemies. If you die, the day resets. If you don't kill all the enemies, so like you miss one, at the end of the day, like you get back. So it's like a Groundhog Day scenario. But then
Yeah.
in like a single player game, you have to get out of the house and you have to make sure that you can kill all the enemies, do things right, and you have I think 4 or 5 different stages, 4 or 5 different maps, I believe. So it's like I think the map is like where you get to like a checkpoint and then like you can go back there. Which honestly, from the premise, sounds really good. From like the content that I've seen. I haven't seen that much, but just from the trailers and from like people playing it, it looks rather interesting. I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. Um, however, then I go on like Steam because it's out on PlayStation 5, and the current gen consoles still a year after launch is just you can't get it. You just cannot get it. I don't know like how the hell this can be so wrong, but like there's just no way of obtaining them. So it's PS5 only, which like okay, sucks to be everyone that doesn't have a PS5. So like I think there's like just a handful of people that might be able to buy it. But then it's also out on PC on Steam, which is pretty sweet. But then the reviews are just like bad, with people saying like, yo, this game is great, but there's this anti-piracy software, de novo, that's out there, and that is just completely lagging the game. That's completely breaking the game. A game I pay $60 for now runs for like less than 30 frames a second. It's like it's not good.
So the real interesting thing is, I've seen a comment from the developers. This was like published on some gaming journalist websites, saying that the de novo or whichever anti-piracy software they were using wasn't the cause for why it's lagging like fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's actually something else that's causing it.
Yeah, I saw that today as well, where like basically the latest news on this is that a new patch arrived today, where the underlying issue is not necessarily what it seems. Like Bethesda said, it addresses an issue experienced by some players in the appearance of stutter, and they say that the problem lied with mouse-based movement. So like the game wasn't really optimized for mouse-based movement as like compared to controller-based movement. That's what they're saying. The update shipped today, so I mean, we're gonna have to see that. Like, it's gonna have to be seen today whether it's gonna like improve anything. However, it's gonna be on such a like high like magnifying glass, because everyone's now gonna be like, oh, if I see any bit of stutter, then that is bad. Urgh! So we're gonna have to see whether it changes anything. But yeah, like it's something where when I heard about that, like it made me unfortunate, like it made me sad, because first of all, it's $60 for a game, and like if I pay $60 for a game, I expect it runs well. I'm not gonna pay $60 for a game where I'm like, I don't know if this runs well. And then secondly, it's like if it's because of the anti-piracy software, it's like, oh my god, like it's been there before.
You see, I reckon it is because like I
Mm-hmm.
just went on to the wiki, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was made with the Void engine, which is the id Tech 5 engine, right? So this engine was used to make oh god, Wolfenstein, the New Order, The Evil Within, Wolfenstein, Old Blood. Yeah, this isn't even the bloody Tech 6 engine. This was used to make Rage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how the fuck they've botched this so hard.
Yeah. Well, like I think it could very well just be the anti-piracy, and like throwing it on mouse-based movement is like, who is gonna be able to say no, that's not the case?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's
Yeah.
fucking dumb of them, isn't it? Because it's a fucking first-person shooter engine developed by id Software.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to be fucking high to think any gamer, like any PC gamer, would believe that that engine was not designed for fucking mice. Actually, to be fair, the id, oh god, was it the id Tech 2 engine? So the engine that was used to create Quake, nope, that's the one engine, yeah, which was
Mm-hmm.
designed to make the original Quake, was, if memory serves, the first ever first-person shooter engine to support the mouse.
And that doesn't have mouse-based support. That is lagging this entire thing down. Oh, yeah.
Like, we're talking about 5 generations of fucking engine. Oh, it doesn't. Fuck off. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like,
I mean,
fucking bullshit.
like the thing that stands out to me the most about this story is like I feel that regardless of whether it is, which most likely it is, the anti-piracy software that is lagging this game, but even if it isn't, I still think that this is like an important thing with like this entire idea of like like making the experience of actual paying customers worse because you want to prevent pirates by you want to delay them basically because every game is in the end probably going to be broken, especially if it's single player. But it's like to me it's like it's staggering. Like recently there was this thing with Adobe. Adobe, by the way, is like the creative suite where you have like all these programs like Photoshop, Premiere, like which a lot of people use to create create videos, create like whatever creative content they do. And Adobe has this very very infamous like subscription program where you have to be subscribed to the servers the entire time in order to like every single year get those updates and be able to use it because it needs to like verify with the servers that you have the authentic key, all that sort of stuff. However, back in the day, there was a time in which you could actually buy your Adobe software. You would not be upgraded to the next generation sort of thing, but you would be able to own that. However, now that they're moving on to like the next generation, they're going to be shutting down their authentication servers for I think anything below like you have like the CS line, you have like I think CS 2 to 5 or something. So like if you have bought that software and you want to download it like from a certain point on, I don't know when that goes in. If you want to download that, basically, like because the authentication servers are down, you will not be able to install that and like actually have it run because it will say like we can't authenticate this, so you can't use it. And honestly, like at that point in time, like if you have legitimately bought that, you can no longer use that software from like very soon onwards. However, if you were someone that pirated this software, that didn't buy it, that actually just got a cracked version online for free, you can still use it and install it because that cracked version doesn't require the installer. And it's just like it's insane to me that you would, as like a producer of like games, as a producer of like production software, create something in your own software that would make it run worse for people that actually legit paid you money than like make it run and then for like people that just like pirated it, that just stole it. Where like right now, like I know that like the pirated version of like this game of Deathloop is not out, but right, like if you want to have the best gaming experience, let's say that like a pirated version of like Deathloop would be out, like it would almost be if you want to have the best Deathloop experience on PC, get the pirated version because even if you pay $60, you're gonna have a worse like experience, and that's just like mind-boggling to me. I just find it really really strange and twisted in a way. But what do you think?
I think it is fucking trite that trying to prevent piracy is like trying to hold your breath in space. It's not gonna, you could try as hard as you might, it's not gonna fucking happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you will stop piracy with incentives. You will not stop piracy with barriers,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, I remember way back when I was a wee lad, that there were plenty of people I knew that would pirate video games because traveling to the local city, right, which was at least 40 minutes away by bus, to just check to see if the shop had the game, right, was, there's no guarantee they actually had the
Mm-hmm.
fucking game. And it would cost you fucking £6 to even get to the city.
Mm-hmm.
People would just go, nah, fuck it, I'll just download it off the internet. I don't care if it takes me like a day or so, I'll just
Yeah.
fucking download it, right? And one of the reasons why I got so heavily into mail order services for video games, I would, oh god, was it Gameplay .com or something like I remember this one website. It was just video games, you know, and you would order the video game and it would be delivered to your door. It was similar to like Amazon, right? Before Amazon really took off. And it would often be cheaper, right? Regardless of the fact that I had to like travel in, lose my time doing that. It was cheaper to buy it from there than to buy it from a retail store, right? It's the same old story. You know, online shopping is killing retail. Yeah, well, suck less. But but I remember the biggest thing that killed piracy was Steam, right? Because games became so much more readily available, right? A lot of the things that so one service that killed piracy with music, or you know, really put a dampener on it, was iTunes, where music became a lot more readily available. So on and so forth. You give an incentive to allow a consumer to buy your product, and they will fucking buy it.
I really think it's like this ease of use sort of thing. Like, what is easier to use? Because I remember very clearly before like the subscription model for like music and what is it TV and movies became a thing, like the Netflix and Spotify's. I never like when that started becoming a thing, I never understood it because I was like, before, like if you wanted to like get music, like you had iTunes, but most of the time you'd still go to a store, get like buy a CD, or you would buy a DVD, or you would go to your television and watch it there. So I would be like, if you're already taking the step to go to the internet, where like within a few like clicks on your like in your browser you can get to everything free online, why would you start to pay money when you can just like within the same clicks get to it for free online? However, the thing is that Netflix and Spotify and iTunes before that, but especially subscription service, what they did is they made it a lot easier. Where first of all, you don't have to be checking where like, hey, is this thing out here on this website or is it not out yet? No, you know exactly if it's out on Netflix, it's out on Netflix. Is it going to be in good quality? It's always going to be in good quality. Is it going to have like weird subtitles? Is it going to have a virus when I download it? Is it going to like have like all sorts of random ads on there? No, because you pay for it. It's going to be a really nice experience. You can open it on your phone. You can see it in an app. You can pause. You can continue rewatching, sort of thing. When you open it on a different device, like it was so much easier. However, now you're seeing the thing like turn around on itself, where because like Netflix used to be the one-stop shop for pretty much everything, now that you have so many bloody series. Like you have like HBO, you have like Disney Plus, you have like Netflix, you have so many things where you all have to pay a subscription thing for. That I think right now we're at this like turning point where people are like pretty much getting more and more like, if I have to pay like one times a subscription, that's fine. But if I have to pay like 4 or 5 subscriptions, fuck that. I'm already on the internet. Let me just go download it for free. Just search the thing for free and I'll find it. Fuck. How hard can it be? So I think it's really an ease. Like what is the like the less the root of less resistance? And if the root of less resistance is like either like you can choose just stay at home, download it for a day, or go and take the bus to like the city to see if it's there. It might not even be there. Of course, you're just gonna download it for the day.
It's crazy. I just like hell. I remember one of my favorite games is Soul Reaver. Well, it's just the Legacy of Kain franchise. Soul Reaver 2 had come out, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll get Soul Reaver 2. So I went into Cardiff, the local town. I spent an hour because they had on record that they had one copy of the game for PC left, right? The box was on the shop floor, but they had no idea where it was because it should have been in alphabetical order. And all the boxes that, you know, there were all these DVD cases, black spine with just the writing, and like, you know, visually being able to tell it was really difficult. And I spent ages looking, and I spent like an hour, and eventually, like the sales assistants thought I was fucking nuts. Just fuck off. You're not gonna find it. And like they had shelves, like fucking massive ass shelves, just full of PC games. I spent an hour there, and I eventually found the case. And like this is the sort of thing like it's like, oh, yeah, just sell it to me without the case. Oh, I can't sell it to you without the case. Fucking bloody well.
Yeah.
Sell it.
Oh man.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I just don't want to. Anyway.
No, I do have to say, I am finding a new interest in physical games though, because there's a new game that's out on the PlayStation 4 5 as well. But this one also on the 4, and I think on the Epic Games Launcher, which like I'm not gonna get it on the Epic Games Launcher. I'm sorry, no. But it looks pretty cool. I think it's like Kina Battle of Spirits or something. It's like a rather obscure game, but it looks really cool. It looks really fun.
Yeah.
And I saw a Scopes review by it, and I was like, dude, I kind of really want to try this. However, it's only in digital edition. Physical copies will ship in like November or something. However, when it comes to single player games, I am so much more out on like physical games, because look at about half a year ago we did a FrameCast where PlayStation said we're gonna shut down the PlayStation 3 network, and then people just made all sorts of like crazy like, because like now we can't download our games anymore, and they ended up backtracking on that, but it did shut down the PS Vita store. So like you can't download any games for there anymore. And this is the thing that I worry about when it comes to like these consoles. Like this generation is going to move on at a certain point as well. And what if they shut down the PS4 or the Xbox One store? Like especially on console land. I mean, on PC land, it's like far less common to have like physical editions because Steam is so good basically on there.
Yeah.
However, like I really want to have like this physical disc where I know that regardless of what happens, maybe in like 40 or 30 years time, I can still go back and like put on the disc of like Ghost of Tsushima into my PS4. It will be ancient by that point, but oh boy, do I want to go back to relive that experience again because it was such a good game. However, like I'm not going to have everything downloaded on there, nor will I know whether I will have the same PS4 at that point in time. Maybe I'll have to buy a new one, but I still have the game. So I really appreciate physical editions, and that's why I do really like to still have like physical stores around, even though what you're saying, like, yeah, it kind of sucks sometimes, that experience. I do like to be able to just like go there and grab a physical edition, and also just like not really sponsor the Bursos, because you know Amazon is becoming quite big.
But I mean, like, the big thing for me, going back to the whole Deathloop situation, like, you're never gonna fucking succeed getting rid of
Oh no, you're not.
Piracy. You're never gonna fucking succeed. You can claim as much as you want. I mean, hell, I remember in a similar ilk, right? It was this company was hired by the U.S. government to seek out people that were anonymous. You know, the part of 4chan sort of thing, part of the terrorist organization, and they charged the U.S. government an insane amount of money. Anonymous had hacked into this company, right? They'd taken over like their resources. They'd shoved it up on their website, like, you know, you've been hacked by Anonymous, and you've claimed to have found us. You have found none of us. You are charging the government like millions, if not billions, to hunt us down. And we are going to give this list of names. So they downloaded the list, and they had actually sent the list to the government for free. And it's like, here's the list that so and so was just ripping you off for. You know.
Oh my god, that
congratulations,
is wonderful.
you will not find out who we are.
Oh boy, it's like whatever has been made by man can be like surpassed by man, sort of thing. Because if someone can come up with it, someone else can come up with like a method how to break it. And I can very well understand that you want to put in these like these gates. You don't want to you don't want it to be like completely free of any prevention methods, because otherwise like they can just like break it right at the gate, and then people can like go wild on it. You want to have at least a certain period of time in which people are actually like encouraged to buy it, but it should never be breaking so badly that it actually just ruins the experience of the people that actually put money to your game. Because right now, I was seriously considering, I was really close to buying it, but then I saw all those negative Steam reviews. I was like, yeah, I don't want to get this on Steam. Like right now, with the way that this is, like I'm not gonna pay $60 for a game that I'm gonna start up, and then like I'm just gonna look at it for like a little bit and be like, oh shit, this sucks because it just doesn't run very well. Let me wait until it's patched. Like that's not worth $60.
Yeah, I was actually just seeing if Deathloop is still on the Steam carousel at the top, and it is. Oh, apparently the reviews have gone to very positive. I wonder how many of those they've, you know, deleted the mixed review. Wait, this is not the game I clicked on.
Wait, you got a different game?
Yeah, I clicked on view page, and Deathloop. Yeah, that was so weird. Deathloop took me to some like Tales of something or another. It's like with some JRPG. I'm like, it's not the game I clicked on. Yeah. So
Let me see. Let me see
apparently
what I can find. Yeah.
it's mostly positive. 74% of the reviews of the game are positive.
Well, like I'm also seeing people just like the positive reviews that I see. I can't share them on screen. Yeah, because that's not really here. Um, but yeah, like a lot of people do say that like, hey, I like this game. Like there's like right here is a recommended review where it's like I've played this game for 20 hours now and I have to say that I truly understand why people are upset. It isn't because the game is bad. Honestly, the game is accomplishing what it said it has to do just perfectly. I will ever take note of the issues first so I can take the time afterwards to talk about what the game is. Like a lot of these positive reviews are like, yeah, I'll give this game a positive review because it's great. It's just that this software is just bringing it down so much. But if it wasn't here, this game would be awesome. So
Yeah.
like I can see that people also do that because like some like you can go at this and be like, oh, this one thing just breaks the entire game for me, or you could be like, hey, you know, I still feel like the game itself is good, but this one piece of software that they added on is bad. So like I'm still gonna give it a positive review. But yeah, it's what it is. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But let's move on to something that's even more unfortunate. Woohoo! Hardware level bans for PC gaming. Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So this right here is something which like I have like I saw come by. I was not really surprised, but I was kind of like it made me really sad because the one thing which I really like about PC gaming is the freedom that you have. Like you don't have this thing where basically like back in the day or like I think still today, like Microsoft or Sony can brick your console remotely if they detect that you do something weird or they ban you, like they can just brick it. You no longer have internet access sort of thing. I actually remember an interview with I don't know what it was, but some YouTuber who actually started out their career with just like making these montages of like Call of Duty on Xbox where they would just be like rude and offensive because that was kind of back in the day the piece of content that really got a lot of views. They said like, well, basically every week I'd be buying a new Xbox because Xbox would just like brick this Xbox, but it would be just be making me so much money that I'd just be like, I just buy a new Xbox and just play on it until they brick it and I buy a new one because that would just be my business model. Now PC has this thing where it's like it's your PC. Steam is not gonna like get you to pay for internet access. Steam is not going to have you like have a Steam Plus sort of thing because you have other options. Your PC is a free platform, and I really do like that Epic Games has come around and actually is another alternative where you can get games from. I just don't like the exclusivity thing they're pushing. I hate that because that is not PC. PC is not an exclusivity thing where you have to get this launcher or that. It's just the freedom of choice. However, what's happening now, Windows 11 has come around the corner. I don't know how much you've been keeping up with Windows 11, but I'm just not a big fan. All right, so you want to catch me? You want me to catch you up on Windows 11?
Go for it.
All right, so Windows 11. Okay, so if you got Windows 8 and Windows 10, okay, so features of Windows 8, Windows 10. Did you like the Cortana feature, the like online assistant that listens into you all the time, where you can just like speak and say, "Hey, Cortana, can you look something up?" Did you like that?
Oh, I want to see if this works. Hey, Cortana.
If you have
No,
that enabled.
good. Right. No, I think it's the most stupid, infuriating, shitty thing. I turn it off on my phone as well.
Okay, but okay, so you don't like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate, but maybe there's something else that can get you excited about. Okay, how about this? Android apps on your Windows machine.
Yes, because apparently emulators don't already exist.
No. But this is even better. It's an inbuilt emulator. You excited?
Oh,
No. Hold up. It gets better. It's an Amazon App Store for Windows, for Android applications on your computer. And it's pre-built in. Are you excited now?
Sorry, what?
An Amazon App Store for Android applications to run on your computer. You excited?
So you'd have to buy them again?
Yes.
Fuck that noise!
Because, you know, but that's pre-built in. You can't get rid of that. You have Teams pre-built in. Oh, by the way, do you like starting up your computer and signing into your OS without being connected to the internet?
Oh god, I heard about that.
You can't do that anymore because it's online required to sign in to make an account on your OS. You need to have online connect. However, this gets even better. Drew, do you have hardware that is remotely old? And with old, I mean anything, literally anything that's out right now.
Yes.
So you can't use that for Windows 11 because you need to have a TPM, which is like a basically, hold on, like I keep forgetting a trusted platform module, like this thing that you also need to have secure boot enabled. So like you can't you need to have these very specific things because otherwise Windows 11 won't really allow that to run. Actually, I do think that they've kind of like people have been very like mad about that because they were pretty much like why do we have to buy new hardware? Like why do we have to have this thing, this trusted platform module to sign in? And Windows, like Microsoft basically just turned around and said like the same thing as like, you guys not have phones? They're just like, well, you guys can just buy new hardware. And yeah, that is just like the train wreck that is Windows 11. It is looking very bad. Basically, like there's like a ton of like topics that's been going on where like even in like virtual machines, like Windows 11 like is going to require TPM. There's also this thing where like right now, like one thing that was recently posted is like Microsoft will not stop you from installing the software on older PCs, but you will have to sign a waiver that you're using Windows 11 with unsupported hardware. You will not get any updates. So it's just like overall.
No, what?
Yep.
What? Like, if I'm using unsupported hardware, why do I not get updates? Fuck that.
Because it's not supported. So you got to get that TPM, man. So yeah, Microsoft officially reinstated its PC health check app for anyone to download, letting you easily see whether your computer is ready for Windows 11 ahead of its October 5th debut. Let's see, the company had previously removed the app because it was somewhat misleading. It was only available to Windows Insiders. You can find the app at above, but yeah. But in some ways, it's still misleading because it suggested a perfectly good 7th gen Core i7 desktop gaming PC isn't ready for Windows 11, despite the fact that I have already installed Windows 11 on it. Like, this is from an article I'm reading. But yeah, like you do not have the correct processor. You know, like basically, like it's so picky with like the things that you need on it. So there's a long-winded way of Microsoft saying what they already revealed. So just because those CPUs aren't on its Windows 11 will not block PCs with older CPUs from installing Windows 11 just because those CPUs aren't on this whitelist. Instead, Microsoft is reserving the right to deny you Windows updates up to and including security updates if those CPUs become a problem down the line. So you need to sign a waiver that you're aware of that.
They understand what the point of an operating system is, right? It's supposed to be a communication between the user and the hardware.
It's becoming you can harvest data from the user. That is where we're going to. Microsoft Teams installed. There's a bunch of like remember those like I actually have one right here. Remember these like old Android phones that came just like with a bunch of bloatware and shit? Like that is what Windows is becoming right now. Windows 11, it's bloatware and connected to always online, and you gotta have special hardware. Are you excited? Woo!
I don't know, like how they could not tell that this is a bad move.
Well, what are you gonna do? Switch to Linux?
No, I'll just stick with Windows 10.
Yeah, but like Windows 10 is gonna end support by 2025. So what are you gonna do after that?
Really? That soon?
Yes, 2025 support for Windows 10 will be dropped. So you have 4 more years.
Stay with Windows 10.
You have 4 years to, I mean, like, you have 4 years to learn Linux, I guess. But yeah, like that's what Windows knows is like, yeah, Microsoft knows, like, yeah, what you're gonna do, switch to Linux. And like, that's actually what I tried. Like, the PC I recently built, I actually tried to switch to Linux, but it's like for production software, for any of my hardware peripherals, it just doesn't work. However, I do like Steam is actually coming around with the Proton DB layer, where like I don't know how much you're aware of this, but basically like Steam is releasing this like Steam Deck. It's not called the Stream Deck; it's the Steam Deck because that is not confusing at all. But it's like this like the Nintendo Switch, like but then from like the Steam variant. It's basically a handheld computer, and they're launching that with Linux on it because they don't really want to be like installing Microsoft like OS on every single thing that they do, and I'm paying Microsoft because Linux is free. Why not use a free OS? So like basically what they're doing is they have been building very hard on this layer, which allows you to run pretty much anything on the Steam store on Linux, and they've been pretty good at it so far. The reports are that pretty much like over 90% or something, which like works. And they're working really hard to allow like things that also like anti-cheat sort of thing. Software has always like thrown up errors with Linux, and they're trying to push that really far. That basically the moment that thing launches, you can play anything you want on the Steam Deck. And basically that also means because that's being pushed towards just Linux in general, like you can install it on any Linux distro that you have. Basically that's a big boost to like Linux gaming, where I would actually personally go as far as like if the only thing that I did on my computer was play some games and like do some documents for work or school and like watch some YouTube videos, I would probably just run Linux right now. It's just that I need very specific things for making videos and streams, which
Yeah.
just do not run. But other than that, like it's becoming more and more viable, which is like a
I mean,
positive thing. But
what you could do is you could always dual boot the machine. So
hmm
video editing, Windows 10, everything else,
yeah,
Linux. You know,
hmm
it's no, I totally get where you're coming from. I mean, to be fair though, if Microsoft are being that toxic with the OS, I mean they were pretty toxic with Windows
10.
8.
Oh yeah, 8. Oh boy.
Or was it 8 or I can't remember which one it was. I think it was either 8 or Vista. It'll blow up in their face.
hmm
The next OS will be good again. Um, but the one that will blow up in its face, people will just pirate it to no end,
I mean, you don't
right?
even have to pirate right now. Like you can get Windows 10 for free, perfectly legally, or
But I
like not
mean,
legally, but yeah,
but I mean,
perfectly.
even so, like the big thing with oh crap, not Windows 10, with Windows 11
hmm
is that there's too many features of it that are just like what the fuck. But could you just imagine? Oh, I just bought like this £500 graphics card. Wait, what do you mean that Microsoft don't support it? What do you mean I'm no longer going to get updates to my Windows operating system? What the fuck, Microsoft? It's a
Yeah,
brand new graphics card. Oh, yeah, well, we haven't done any work for it, so
yeah.
you know,
But I mean,
like,
it's it is like it is the case though that Microsoft is in this position like what you gonna do, because to like most people they only know like you may like the only other OS that they're aware of is like Mac OS, but you get it on the Apple, you can't have that on Windows on like a PC. And
used to
then
be
if
able to.
and then if you talk about Linux, they're just like, what's that? And even if if like sometimes they know about it and they're just like, yeah, that's too complicated for me because like Linux, like what kind of thing do I get? And like, isn't that just like coding and shit? And like, I don't like, while Linux is a very usable thing. So I actually really hope that with Steam pushing Proton DB and making that like making gaming on Linux an actual good thing and actually pushing out this, like this could be a really big turning point because let's say that this
Yeah,
Steam Deck is a very successful product, which I can imagine it could be very much so because like I'm just seeing so many benefits with like this the Steam Deck. I really want to get one, where it's like it's a small computer for a very reasonable price, which like you can like carry around as like a portable console. It's like a Switch, but like a little bit more powerful, I think, or like somewhat the same. But you can stream games from your computer. You can also stream games from your PlayStation or your Xbox because they both have like these like desktop apps where you can just like stream
yeah.
it to like another device. So you can play anything that you have remotely now in your hands with this one thing. It's a computer that you can buy, which is also a gaming console, and it plays everything and it runs Linux. So if this is something that's a big success or like somewhat of a success, it's also something that's introducing people to Linux where they're like, hey, Windows 11 is kind of crap, but I have this thing that kind of just runs a desktop OS and like, this is Linux and pretty much I'm not dying when I'm using it. And then actually I can do a whole bunch of things and this is not like trying to like sell my soul to Amazon and just like trying to like always connect me. It's just like, it's kind of a ride. Let me try
I
this.
One thing I could just so totally envision
hmm
is Microsoft trying to put in locks and things for like the Xbox PC gaming pass thing,
Oh yeah.
you know, and it's like no, you have to play it on Windows, you have to play it on Windows, and then like Steam or whomever is just going like, oh, you want free games? Here's some free games, and then like no, I could so totally see this being a war between Microsoft and Steam because that's what it's going to turn into. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the majority of my colleagues detest Windows with a passion. I don't know
Mhm.
why. Though I mean, Windows is just as bad as Mac OS. They're all shit.
Well,
Um,
okay, actually, like this to me is the biggest thing about Windows is updates. So back in the day, you could have updates like you could choose when you installed updates. Now you cannot like decide anything on it. It's like yeah,
yeah,
you can maybe push it back by a day, but you can't like say hold off and like install it later. And I've had so many times with like Windows 10 where like I'm working on something and all of a sudden it's like updating now. I'm like, what the? Or I'm or like I've been like uploading a video or something which takes a while. I come back and like I need to turn this PC off because I need to go to bed, and then like it's like updating and it takes like a real long time. I'm like I don't have the time for this. So like it's actually gone so far that I've actually like been going online and just looking for every single thing that's out there to just block that Windows updater from checking anything. It can't connect to the internet. It can't do anything. I've turned off in everything just so it doesn't bother me and doesn't interrupt my workflow because I want to have control over my computer. I don't want my computer to decide things that I don't want to do at that point in time. And that's something which I just really don't like with Windows. And I don't know how it is on Mac because I've never worked on a Mac. I think Mac also has definitely things where it's like really, I mean, it's Apple. Apple wants to be controlling as well. But I can imagine if Apple doesn't have that, then that's just so much of a plus. Because
No,
that is a
I mean,
big breaker for me.
the number. Well, the problem. A lot of the problems with Apple is that they're very restrictive in what you can and cannot do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, Microsoft has like this signed applications and things like this. Oh, if it's not a signed application, then it's bad for you and you shouldn't install it. Apple just won't let you install it unless it's a signed application, right?
Yeah.
It just turns around and says no. The whole forcing itself to update and things, oh, it tries really fucking hard to. It really fucking does. Number of times I've just turned up and like, oh, my Mac's restarted. Awesome.
Oh
Fucking
boy.
thanks. You know, they're just as bad as each other. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
like, but I mean, I think if anything, what will end up happening is that the Windows 11 will just get pirated so heavily
But
that they
but
don't know how to deal with it.
you don't actually need to do that because there is this thing which may still be active where basically you can go and get a cracked version, pirated version of Windows 7 or Windows 8, but Windows 7 still
Yeah.
works, and then you can just like use the upgrade tool that Microsoft still provides to upgrade it to a legal version of Windows 10.
No. I mean, cracked as in you don't have to be on online all the time. You can turn off
Oh, I wonder
have
how
that
long that will take.
Amazon shit. I mean, like, you know, they forced a lot of stuff on in Windows 10. And like, I fucking wish I could turn off the updates in Windows 10. There's probably a way I can
Oh,
force
there is a way. I've turned it off completely on this machine.
after this. Can we talk?
Yeah. There
But
is,
yeah,
yeah, but yeah, like actually, there is something which I'll link to you right now if I can find, or otherwise I'll link it later. But there is actually a Windows 10 version, a private Windows 10 version. Basically, what people have done is they've like taken Windows 10 and just like stripped away all the features that listen into you, and
yeah,
like it wasn't like Linus Tech Tips like about a year ago or something. However, like basically, there's so many features that are just removed because so many things out there are just everything is tied into each other. So like there are so many
yeah.
settings which are just yeah.
So here's
I found it right here. I'll just like I'll link it to you after the thing. But it's basically we fixed Windows 10. Microsoft will hate this. It's like a bad title. It's like a clickbait title, but basically it's just like this video all about like this is OS, is Windows 10, but then just completely stripped down of all of like that it's private, but it's like it's Windows 10 ameliorated it's called. That's what the
Yeah.
like, but yeah, it's so much of it is like tied into each other. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that.
But
Anyway, we had a point to this topic
yes,
with
we were actually going to be talking about like the reason we got into it is because of the TPM, the Trusted Platform module. Because oh boy, remember the game Valorant? I don't think you've played it.
No, I haven't, and
But
I don't think most of the world has either.
actually, it's quite popular. Like, it's a PvP game by Riot Games, which last year we talked about because there was this anti-cheat software that would always be on and would have, I think it's called Ring Zero, like the highest level of access
Yeah.
on your computer. And it like you wouldn't be able to turn it off. Even if you close the game, you wouldn't be able to turn it off. So that was something that people were already very upset about. And like that was also something where I stayed away from this because my god, it doesn't really seem cool. I don't like that idea. But actually they've come around and they're making it worse because basically Valorant may be among the first games to use TPM to combat cheating. So basically like yeah, you have the competitive gaming scene on PC, which like, you know, it's just like on console, but it's like probably a little bit more fierce because people swear by the keyboard and mouse and just being able to like have frame rates that are higher than what the consoles give you. However, Riot Games plans to embrace the Trusted Platform module requirement on Windows 11, so they want to use that as well. TPM is an effective security measure in the majority of modern PCs that effectively verifies the legitimacy of your computer, because basically like it's just like this module that has like a specific like identifier on there that identifies that this thing is like your hardware. With Windows 11, Microsoft now requires that all computers feature that all computers have the TPM version 2.0 and have it enabled. A requirement of Riot Games is now going to be imitating with Valorant as well. So basically, like this means that like they will require you to have this module that will identify your hardware, and then if you get caught cheating, they can not only just ban your account, IP ban you, but it can also ban your TPM. So if you then want to like go and play again if you have been banned, you would have to go out and buy a new motherboard or like buy new hardware so that like you're appearing as a new like person, and then you can play again, which is just insane.
This is going to get spoofed so damn fast. Do you know what network spoofing is?
Vaguely, please.
Okay,
Enlighten me.
when I was working, when I was a student at the university, the computers that we were working with were all hooked up to this local area network that basically, as soon as you logged in, it would require to download and install your copy of your account, your university account, onto the machine you're logging on with, right? It wasn't using any network remote access or anything like that. It was downloading, and it would take 10 minutes to half an hour. It was infuriating. But what we did was, and the machines ran like shit because they've all got fucking McAfee fucking anti-make machine good. So what we would do is we would log into the machine. We would find out the MAC address of the network card, right? Which is easy to do. And then we would unplug the network cable from the back of the machine, plug it into a laptop, and spoof the MAC address onto the network card of the laptop, right? And this is called, basically network spoofing. What happens is that the hardware of the network can't tell the difference between it tells the difference by the MAC address, right?
It sees the same MAC address, so it assumes it's the same machine.
Exactly, right? So you're just gonna have that. Someone's gonna fucking build some software to fucking spoof the TMP. Bish bash bosh, job's done. Fucking start up a new account, mate. Like, it's not gonna fucking work. Software hacks have been a thing for fucking years. Oh, a special chip will solve the problem. Since fucking when? People thought that consoles were gonna fucking solve the problem of piracy. This is just boiling back down to piracy. If you don't be a pile of shit and actually be good at your fucking program, right? Make it a thing that people don't want to cheat on. That Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, but like the thing that that like worries me a little bit is like I can imagine that for people that are hardcore cheaters, if you were out there, this might be at a certain point in time a very easy thing to bypass. However, I wonder to what extent it's going to be implemented, because not too long ago I saw this one thing where it was like. I saw this thing where I think we talked about it in the last FrameCast, where basically minors in China are limited to 3 hours of gaming a week.
Oh god,
and it's only on certain like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday you have 1 hour to game and then nothing. And they do that, and the way that they do that is because you need to sign in with like your your government ID and stuff, and they also have on mobile phones, they have like the camera does facial recognition to see whether you are actually the kid playing. If you're the kid playing and you're playing at hours you can't, it shuts down. And I was like, well, that is absolutely crazy. That was absolutely ridiculous. That's really fucking like scary. But I mean, that is in a country that isn't the free West, so to speak. And basically, like, we do have some identifiers like with like IP, with like you do have some identifiers on yourself, but I mean, when it comes to that, you actually need to have a chip on your computer that actually identifies you to the game, and like games can like based on like the information on that chip ban your hardware, where you actually have motherboards that could be sold as like banned motherboards from these games. Like, what if it like goes on like let's say, okay, it's cheating in Valorant, cheating in like a high rank PvP game. Maybe we don't want that because that breaks the game. But what if if it gets to like a chat ban where it's like because someone said something bad? And of course, like there are people that say very, very bad things in chat, but I also remember so many stories in Warframe where people just got banned because they said like, oh, Barracuteer is disappointing today. And like, I'm not saying that, like, I'm not disputing that these people were banned maybe for different reasons or whatever, or like, that's not the point. The point is that like, if you're gonna get, like, if banning in a game is gonna lead to like, it's gonna happen on a hardware level, like regardless of whether it is like a PvP high-end ban or just like it just opens the floodgates for like people to just like, what if people find a way, like what if games can ban hardware level, but what if people find a way to like use that but not being part of, what if I can ban your hardware for Valorant or something, that I can just be like, I'll just like ban your thing, I'll throw it in the list. Or what if like Valorant keeps a list of like these TPM IDs, and then someone breaks into their database, because it happens all the fucking time, and now they know the exact hardware like identifiers of everyone that plays their fucking game. It's like, why are we doing this?
I don't know if this is too mean.
Mm-hmm.
I want an scapegoat. I want a sacrificial lamb. I want a Jesus being nailed to the cross. I want a sacrifice, because maybe Jesus is too strong.
Bit,
but like the whole point is the whole point I'm trying to say is we need an example. We need someone to be so goddamn stupid that think that they are in the right. They actually do this, and as a result, the rest of the world can see what a stupid idea was, and actually, see the game utterly destroyed because of it. Look at what's the name of the game? Doom Eternal. When they brought in that O-ring anti-piracy. No, not anti-piracy.
Mm-hmm.
It was the anti-cheat. That was it. The anti-cheat detection system. It's like, I'm like, fuck off. Right?
Let me tell you how actually I don't think that that's necessarily going to happen so quickly, because people are being like cooked into this. Okay, so I'll give you some things that are kind of a little bit news, but no one actually is going to like buy these things cares about them. So do you know the Samsung Galaxy Fold 3? Like this new fold, like this third generation folding phone of Samsung. It costs over $2,000. Okay,
fuck off.
You don't get a charger, you don't get headphones. You just, because like that's all minimalist and green. However, if you want to unlock the bootloader,
hold on, a charger. Oh well, no, I mean everyone's got a fucking USB-C charger. Okay, fine.
Okay, so yeah, but I mean, like that was introduced by Apple, like the first time they switched from USB-C to USB-C, and then they didn't include, but whatever. Basically, if you want to unlock the bootloader, because you may want to like flash, like throw in like a new OS or something on your own device, it will brick your cameras. You will no longer be allowed to use your cameras because it's for security. Because otherwise, people will be able to use we have like phase unlock or something. Otherwise, people will be able to use that or whatever. So basically, the moment that you unlock the bootloader, your phone has malware in there that just bricks it. A $2,000 phone that you buy, the moment that you unlock the bootloader, which is on your phone, that you unlock something that you can like install, it breaks it on up. Like, I don't necessarily know if it's a hardware level, but I think it's very close to a hardware level, if not a hardware level, because no matter what software you use, you can't like do anything with it. Similarly, the latest iPhone, that I don't think it was the 13, but it was the one before that, the 12 that came out. But the 13 probably has the same thing. If you have, like, basically, this was a video that came around like half a year or a year ago. If you have two of the same phone, but your camera breaks, okay, and you take a camera from like the exact same model of phone, and you put that into the other phone, right? Just the exact same camera module from the exact same like phone, but another model, you will no longer be able to use the camera, and you will no longer be able to use any like it will. There's malware installed on there because it is tied, like it's serialized, connected to the phone, and if there's another thing in there, it'll be like, fuck no, that's not right. Your own device you can't repair anymore because it's like, yeah, no, that's not official.
Yeah, no, I've heard that one.
And that sort of thing, these sort of things, like if you can you imagine 20 years ago, like someone selling you an electronic device and they're saying like, hey, just to be aware, if you want to put a new OS on this, like we're just gonna like break part of the hardware because like we can, like no one would fucking buy that. People be up in arms and be like, what the fuck is this shit? And now people just buy them up because they don't care.
I've got, well, actually I think they're ignorant.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
it
they
is
do.
just a lack of knowledge and forethought. So, but here's the thing, though, right?
Hmm.
That would mean that you could not install a new operating system. So if you went from like Android 11 to Android 12, you wouldn't be able to do that because it's a different operating system.
It's
So if you could do that, then there's got to be some software. There's got to be some software element that says it's okay for me to install this OS, which basically means that you can rip that off.
there might very well be ultimately some workaround, but just the fact that like you want to do a very basic action like unlock the bootloader, and it's just like no,
I just,
it's like I
I, I fucking hate this shit. How much money is right? So you were talking about these TMP modules, right? Sorry, TPM
yeah
modules, right? M stands for module. These TPM chips, right?
yeah.
Who's actually installing them? Right?
Let's see.
Who's putting them on the PCs?
Like if I just look for TPM right now, like the first thing that pops up is Windows. Like this is a Microsoft website. I've linked that to you as well. Um,
Yeah.
I'm trying to find more information about that. Trusted platform module.
Like, a part of me wonders, like, because I'm hearing Microsoft a lot. I'm not hearing Intel. I'm not hearing AMD.
Let's
So is
see.
this something Microsoft are going to basically, oh, we need you to buy, like, we need you to, we're going to pay you billions to install these on the motherboards.
So a trusted platform module is an international standard for a secure crypto processor, a dedicated microcontroller designed to secure hardware for integrated cryptographic keys. The term can also refer to a chip conforming to the standard. So it is a certain standard. Um,
Yeah.
TPM was conceived by the computer industry consortium called Trusted Computing Group (TCG),
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
was standardized by the International Organization for Standardization (ISO) and IEC in 2009. When a new revision
Yeah.
is released, it's broken down into three parts: design principles, structures of the TPM, and the commands. Overview: it has a hardware random number generator, facilities for the secure generation of cryptographic keys,
Yeah.
remote at the binding ceiling. Uses it's let's see, specifies as new computer assets. Let's see. The United States Department of Defense specifies that new computer assets will include a TPM of version 1.2 or higher for required by the. Well, that's just like in the military. Other uses, it's for digital rights management, Windows Defender, Windows Domain implementations. But yeah, like basically, like it is something that has been around before. But I think that like the thing necessarily that needs to be required is like TPM 2.0. Um, like I don't know all that much about it, but it's like basically like Windows has just come around and said like yeah, Microsoft has to come around and said like you need to use this, you need to have this on your thing because otherwise, um, you know,
So
otherwise you
I
can't run.
think literally if they'd have to pay both AMD and Intel a metric fuck ton of money to install these on the motherboard chipsets, right? If they don't, they would then have to pay what's it called, the individual manufacturers. We're talking Asus, we're talking MSI, we're talking Abit, we're talking Gigabyte, we're talking all these different manufacturers, they'd have to pay a fuck ton of money to have these TPM chips installed on the motherboards, right? Because the second one of them doesn't do it, right, that one is going to skyrocket,
But like
right?
but like basically like you can already just like let's say that motherboard is sold, then that's no different from from like what we have right now. And like basically like, what Microsoft says, I think that what they're saying is like, well, like they're very adamant, like you're not gonna get updates from us, you're not gonna get
Right,
security updates from us. So basically, like you could like it would be the same as like installing Windows 11 on like current hardware. You're just not gonna get any updates.
right.
And I think that they are expecting that any like professional use cases like in business or like most people will want to have that security. So they're just like, Yeah, I think that they believe they just have the market share where people are like, hey, it's the choice between using Windows or not using Windows. So we don't really have to pay anyone because people just want to use Windows. Because what else are they going to do? Linux?
So if hear me out,
Yeah.
right? Say you've got the Ryzen 12 processor,
Mm-hmm.
right? The Ryzen 12 processor requires a specific port, a specific shape CPU port, right?
Yeah.
In order to fit. I mean that's why, like, oh, the Gen 2 i7s required the 1155 port, but the Gen 3s required the 1545, and the Gen 5, like you got a specific port, right? For the Ryzen 12, the hypothetical Ryzen 12 processor needs to run on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? You couldn't give two flying fucks about Windows 11, but you do care about the performance of your hardware. We're talking 48 cores on this god-given hypothetical processor, right? Oh man, I could go for that MSI motherboard, but it's got a TPM on it. I could go for that Asus motherboard, but that's also got a TPM on it. IBM motherboard without TPM? Yes, please! You know that's gonna happen. The second one of them does not provide the shitty thing that the majority of people don't want, that's the thing that's gonna blow up and become in
Mm-hmm.
high demand. Look at cryptocurrency. Everyone fucking bought Nvidia graphics cards because it was better to do cryptocurrency than fucking ATI. It's like AMD ones, what used to be ATI. But and it's just stuff like that. So I could like Microsoft, if they're the ones that like, oh, in order to do a Windows 11, you have to have this TPM chip, right? They are going to have to enforce that somehow,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what happens when is Windows 11 due to come out? I assume it's next year
October.
sometime. No fucking way.
Yep, it's coming October.
October. Is there
Yep.
any hardware that actually has the TPM chip already?
I don't know. I'm not that familiar with
See,
with the details.
but that's the problem, isn't it? Right? Unless you have I know why they're fucking doing this. They want the TPM chip so that they can tie the license of Windows on the one machine. So if
Yep.
you upgrade your hardware, you have to fucking buy a new license. That's why they're fucking doing it. Fucking grubby assholes.
Most likely,
Never
yeah.
gonna get sponsored. Never gonna get sponsored by Microsoft now.
I mean, who the hell is ever going to get sponsored by Microsoft? But I mean, like, at the same
Touche.
time, as much as I would like to believe that, I do think that there is one thing that you got to keep in mind.
Yeah.
People conform. It's like boiling the frog. Like, look at this, for instance, okay? Look at this, for instance,
Yeah.
okay? This is the phone that I just had in my hand, a moment ago. This right here is the Samsung Galaxy S4. This thing was the flagship Android phone of its day. It costed me, I think, between $400 or $600. I don't remember exactly, but between $400 and $600 was like the top price at the time. Okay, it has a removable back cover that I can just replace with anything I want. It has a removable battery that I can swap out with new batteries in case I want to. That. It has a micro SD expansion slot in case I want to like throw anything on there that I want to. It has a headphone jack. It had a good quality camera at the time. And basically, like, this was a premium smartphone at the time. Now, smartphones cost twice as much. This also came with headphones, and it came with like a charging kit. Now, because like Apple has been so courageous, you don't get a port for your your headphones anymore. You do not get.
I do. Mine's still port. You can't see that. Mine has a port.
But
I mean, I use Bluetooth ones anyway.
Yeah, but look at like most new smartphones that come out. Like, it's not just Apple; it's Samsung as well. It's like so many different phones right now that come out are above $1,000. You don't get a headphone port anymore. You don't get a removable back cover. You don't get a removable battery anymore. You can't even Samsung phones you can't even upgrade the storage anymore. Like, you don't so many features are being taken away where you're just looking at like, what are you getting? Like, where have we come to? Where right now you have this phone where you can like the only thing you can do is charge with it, and then if it breaks, you can't even like this thing. Like you can just take apart with just like a standard Phillips screwdriver. Like this thing, I've taken apart so many times, also because I was just curious, and also you can just take this apart. It's the same set of screw. iPhones just come with like I think 4 or 5 different sort of screws with like various different lengths. So you gotta like make them actually exactly like they gotta match and shit. But then again, like if you want to replace anything, everything is like tight, like locked and serialized to the phone itself. So even if you replace something, like fuck you, your phone is gonna be buggy now because we won't allow it. And people aren't up in arms about it. No, they're actually continuing to buy phones for $1,200 to $2,000 for phones that they don't even actually own. And like we're just like they're not in arms about that. And that's the same thing with this. Is like if you hear about this, like, dude, that's ridiculous. If there's gonna be one manufacturer that will offer something different, people will be up in arms about it. It's like, no. I hope so, but I don't have the faith that people will be, because you see this with the smartphones, and you're just like, why do people not sign up to this? They don't, because they've just gotten more and more used that this is the way it is, that this is the new cool thing. If I want to be part of this, I gotta be part of this. I gotta And that's the way it goes. It's like people just get used to it. People grow yeah, it's the boiling the frog. Like the water gets warm, but you don't notice because it happens slowly over time. Who cares? A phone is not supposed to have like custom OS on there. No, you're not supposed to have ports on your phone. No, it's just it's all for the security and the safety of the manufacturer.
Yeah,
that's safe.
It's really really interesting. Like I do think that just more and more companies are just gonna turn around and say. Sorry, no, I just think they're just going to be more pirates. I genuinely think more people are going to commit piracy. I really do. I think it's just going to be like, you're inviting this. You are inviting this problem.
Oh, actually, like, let me tell you about something else. Like, this is something where I don't know all the details about, but this okay. Laptops, okay? Have you ever had the problem that you were like, you got a laptop and like you were like, I don't ever like want to have an unofficial case around the laptop, okay? There's a new Apple laptop that has like a sensor. If it doesn't detect the case, that's like the casing, it won't work.
Motherfucking seriously? Apple, do you have nothing better to spend your money on?
Well, okay, did you see 1 or 2 years ago, Linus Tech Tips, they bought a iMac Pro, like a professional grade like Mac, okay? The newest that came out. They opened it up because like the thing, if you've ever seen it, it's got only one fan at the bottom of the the screen. It's like basically like this iMac Pro is like, it's just like this screen thing, and like the computer's in the back. And they were like, we want to see what's inside because we're going to review it. But at the same time, if you're going to be using it in a professional environment, you're going to want to like clean this at a certain point in time because it's going to fill with dust because there's no way to clean it. So you have to take the screen apart, and they were taking the screen apart. However, inside, Apple hasn't shielded the power supply capacitors. So if you open it up, like you could actually die by touching it. But like they open it up, there was a spark.
You wouldn't die. Like the sheer volume of voltage you would need to kill you is much higher.
Yeah, but I mean, like it could be dangerous.
Yes, dangerous. Yeah,
dangerous. Sorry about that. Yeah, it could be very dangerous. But like there was like a spark, like something short circuited. So like the person that was like taking it apart, like they dropped the screen, and like they were pretty sure well the screen was cracked, and there was probably something with the motherboard because everything is soldered on the motherboard. But there was probably something short circuited, so they're gonna have to replace something. They knew that this wasn't gonna be in warranty, but they wanted to fix their Pro device, so they went to Apple and they were asking like, hey, how much would it cost to repair this thing? And they basically said, like, well, we'll take a look at it. We'll come back to you later. And then they took it in. Then they came back and said, yeah, we can't fix this. It's like, but this is your device. And, like, we want to pay for this. Yeah, but we can't fix this. So, just buy a new one. It's like, no, we want this fixed. And then they came around, like, after, like, a lot of, like, like, getting back. And, like, we want this fixed because it's our professional machine. And they said, in order to, like, fix your machine, we're going to have to replace the entire motherboard. Like, everything, the entire motherboard with the CPU on it, with all the components on it. Because we can't like replace them separately. We're gonna have to send that first all back to Apple, and then we can get back the new parts. And this entire machine costs $5,000, and this replacement of the motherboard is gonna cost you $4,000 because this is a very special machine, right? So they were like, "Fuck that! How the hell can like one part like be $4,000? Like that is insane." so like for a lot of like back alley like because of the wide reach, they were able to like get a replacement for I think like replacement motherboard and stuff for like I think $1,500 or something, which is like all right sort of thing. But it's like this is a professional grade machine where if you take it to Apple, like a professional machine where most of the time if you work in a professional setting, you have a technician on site that can fix things on your computer because it's a professional setting in a company where you have an IT expert that will look at it. But you can't open this up, and even if you take this to Apple, they're saying, yeah, just buy a new one because if we want to replace a part in it, it's going to cost you like almost the same as a new machine. Just buy a new one. And you can't even maintain it. Like there's no maintenance you can do in it. And that's a professional machine that people are buying by the thousands because it's a standard. It's an industry standard. We love iMac so much. It's such a professional piece of software, and we're just sitting here, and people are happy with it.
See, that's something like people say that Apple is like the industry standard. Fuck off, it's the industry standard, right? Like, Apple isn't used for what's it called? Oh fuck, servers. Apple isn't used for a lot of things. Like, a lot of times when you do development stuff, you do it on Linux, right? Apple is like I'm literally forced to use a Mac because of our head of design, right? And like we're changing providers, and I'm actually tempted to say, give me a Windows machine. Just give me a fucking Windows machine because I'm sick of this Mac crap.
Actually, I have a computer for you, a laptop for you. If you need a laptop, this is like a fantastic company. And like here, I'll send it to you. It's called Framework. Frame.work is the website. I'll also post it in chat. It's frame.work. This device is literally like it's built around being able to maintain your laptop sort of thing. So like this thing has it looks sleek like an Apple device, but what it has is entirely made for you to open up and like replace things. And like what you have is like you have this laptop. I wish you could screen share this because I don't know whether that works. Let me take a quick peek if I can actually make that happen, but I don't think I can.
I kind of want to bring back to raise that the whole Valorant thing which we were talking about earlier. There's a conversation between Arteria Faith and Do Go about what happens if players don't have a TPM chip. They were saying that literally they will not be able to play Valorant.
Yeah.
Is that true? I
think that will be because basically like it's like if they're gonna be banning people with that, like then basically like the best way to like go about it is to just like not have it. And so basically they're probably just gonna be introducing that. Well, if you don't have it,
you kill the game. You that is suicide, right? If Riot turn around and say you cannot play Valorant unless you buy a new PC, that is the death of your game, right? Yeah. Because if the current hardware does not have a TPM chip, and the Windows 11 is coming out in October, right? I just really can't see anyone upgrading to 11. I really think that Microsoft have fucked themselves over, right? Yeah. It's like personally, I think Riot wouldn't do that. I think they would utilize the TPM chip to permaban hardware, but if you don't have one, you can still play the game, which is just more incentive not to fucking use hardware with a TPM chip, which then gives market for new hardware without the TPM chips. And also, the big thing is, right, you have to have your operating system communicate to the hardware to get the TPM ID, right? Intercepting that will be difficult, yeah? Because it's the operating system directly communicating with the hardware, right? However, Valorant will not talk to the hardware. Valorant will talk to the operating system, which is the easiest fucking thing to intercept. You have no idea. Look at things like OBS, right? So OBS can intercept the game footage between the operating system and the hardware, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry, not between the operating system, sorry, between the game and the operating system.
Yeah.
My bad, right? But still, it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, Riot, did you fucking think this shit through?
I think it's because they got away with that, like ring zero access. Like, people just didn't mind that. They're like, hey, you know, if we have another thing that
Wait, is that still in there?
Yeah, that's so in there that they never removed that.
How is that game popular?
Because people don't care.
People are fucking morons.
Yeah, but they don't care. Like, that's the thing. It's like,
Wow.
yeah, like that's the thing. Like, a lot of these people don't care. It's like the same people that, like, the funny thing is actually, okay, so like, here, like, the craziest thing, like, when I tell you about these iPhones, like,
Yeah.
the people that, like, say that this shit is insane, if I replace my camera module, like, with something which is exact same by the same manufacturer, like, my phone bugs out, the people that, like, that step up and say, like, this is insane, like, if I have this, like, this Samsung phone which I paid $2,000 for, and then, like, I'll unlock the boot loader, and then, like, the phone, like, shits itself, like, the people that complain don't actually buy these phones. The people that defend, like, this shit, where they're like, oh, it's poor safety, they're the people spending money on this. They're totally fine. Like, most of them are just, like, totally fine with this, and that's what you see here as well. It's like, oh yeah, but it's probably safety, or people just don't care. Another example, okay, this is for something entirely different. With like recently, this was I came across, basically, like, someone had owned a Tesla for like a 3 or 4 years or something. It was just out of warranty, and then they got a message that their battery module was old and it needed replacement, or it needed servicing, because like it was old and it couldn't function anymore. So he only had 40 miles of range. He couldn't get more than that, and his nearest Tesla service station was I think it was 60 miles away. So he could never get with his car because the car wouldn't charge beyond that, because there was a software limit placed in there, because basically, yeah, like, Tesla just decided that you couldn't do that anymore. Then he went to the dealer anyway. He found a way to get there. And they said, for your $25,000 car that you bought back a couple of years ago, in order to fix this, we're going to have to replace the entire battery module, which is going to cost you about $22,500. So then he took it to, like, an independent repair shop, like the Electrified Garage is like it's focused on, like, fixing electric vehicles. Basically, it were just, like, a couple of modules that were bad. It wasn't like battery modules, but mostly just, like, I think it was, like, communications between there that were bad. They fixed it for, like, I think a couple of thousand. Like there's just like a fraction of the price. But it's just like when people talk about that, like, it's the people that own Teslas. They're like, yeah, but it's for safety and security. You're gonna have to, like, scrap it and buy a new one because, you know, it's safety and security and saving the planet. And the people that actually, like, don't, like, will never think of owning that. They're like, dude, this is insane. This is crazy. But that's what you see with that Ring Zero Access, where it's like, dude, it's like, if I actually got a, like, beta code to that game. I could try it out, but then, like, this thing came up. I was like, I'm not gonna touch this. I'm not, like, this is not something I want to get into. But, you know, you have so many people that are just like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. I can understand if you're not aware of this or you just don't care, but, like, at the same time, it's something where
it utterly baffles me that there are over 100,000 people watching on Twitch right now. They're watching in the Valorant direction right now. That utterly just dumbfounds me that the Ring Zero access to the kernel is still, like, in all honesty, right? I doubt, with the 6 viewers we currently have right now, that anyone from Anonymous is actually listening in. But I really hope that one day someone actually breaks into Riot. I couldn't give a fuck if I'm recording this, take it out of context. But, like, I mean, I'm pretty explicit what I'm saying. But someone just, like, you know, hack into Riot, then just DDoS, like, all the sodding, like, you know, just red ring. Just red ring all the PCs that have the Ring Zero kernel, and just prove to the world that it can be done, and just prove that it should not be done.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. Yeah, I mean, see, like, this is one thing that kind of that I get. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about, then I want to, like, show you this framework laptop, which is, like, actually, like, makes me happy to see. But, like, so, like, this is one thing that kind of, like, gets me like upset about, or, like, a little bit, like, not happy about, like, these the electric car trend that we're seeing. It's like, I really think that when you look at electric cars, it is the future, in the sense of not being dependent on a certain type of, like, gas, or a certain type of, like what is it? Like energy source. You can just have electricity. You can generate with that with whatever, and like the performance that it has is insane. However, you have this thing now where basically like there was a story like about 2 years ago or something where Tesla basically like introduced this thing where you like subscription on your car. So you buy a car. Every single car is made the same. However, you can choose whether you want to have heated seats by paying for more. But that doesn't mean that if you buy a car without heated seats, you don't get the hardware installed. You all get the same car, but for some people like that paid more, the option will be enabled, and for other people, like you will just still have the hardware installed. It's the exact same car, but you won't be able to like have that turned on because you didn't pay for it. So like your car is software controlled by like the mothership of Tesla. And what they do is like whenever you do modifications on your car, because there's this entire idea that like electric cars are special and they're beyond human comprehension, and you simple people could not understand what is going on inside this magic that is this electric car. So what they do is like the moment that like a lot of times these cars will like get into like if they get into a crash, they're written off and Tesla won't service them anymore. And like they're basically said just scrap them because like we're not going to do anything with it. And if you're going to repair them yourself, like what's going to happen? They're going to be like, okay, so we're going to turn off supercharging. You cannot use our network anymore because you cannot charge on our like chargers because that would make us look bad in case something happened. So what would happen is like on remote they can turn that off. So like there would be a family that wasn't a road trip. I think it was like 1 or 2 years ago. It was a family on a road trip, and basically like they just got their Tesla just remotely turned off their supercharging. So all of a sudden they couldn't charge anymore at Tesla chargers. So they had to like imagine being in America, being in the middle of nowhere. All of a sudden you find out your car can't charge up anymore, or can't fuel anymore. They do that remotely, and you see that more and more with like because like this trend is out there, and like people have this idea in their mind that electric cars are they are like beyond your comprehension, and you should be guided by safety expert of the car brand. Like you have this thing a lot more where you have where like the control of you is taken away, and like you're not even like supposed to like do anything about your own thing that you bought because that's too complicated for you, and we're just gonna like stop you and like stop your thing from like your vehicle from doing anything because you know you shouldn't, like we can't trust you. And that is something which like I really just I don't like. I really don't like that is an entire thing that's connected to this thing of electric cars, where right now I'm watching there's this channel I know, Jerry Rig Everything, mostly known for like these like phone reviews where he like scratches the phone and like tests it on like does it bend, all that sort of thing, like durability test, that's what it was called. But he is building himself an electric Hummer. So he like bought a 1990 something Humvee, and like he's turning that into like he's replacing the drivetrain with like electric parts. And it's really cool to see because it's actually like pretty like it's I wouldn't call it simple, but it's pretty straightforward. And it's like it's really cool to see like how easily it's actually done. And like I really hate that this entire thing is like, oh yeah, but it's like it's too complicated for you, so you should just like pay to us for us to do it. It's just insane. I don't like it.
I fucking hate how much the world is going in the direction of pay us more money, right? You know, keep the wealthy rich and keep the poor destitute. Like it's just like fucking do these people does Jeff Bezos need that much money? Does Elon Musk need that much? Like I just like
it's the idea of you'll own nothing and you'll be happy, and that is another example. Last year there was this
isn't that communism?
Yeah, but actually in a sense, but like you're like basically okay, so like this is a perfect example of this. There was fitness machines, you know, the fitness machine where you run on, right?
Yeah.
So there was this thing where you could like this company that sold them, and you could buy them for a price, or you could buy them for like I think $100 cheaper. And then if you bought them, you would always need to have an active subscription to the service, otherwise you couldn't use the thing, it would not turn on. You would always need to have an active subscription for you to use the hardware that you bought.
We're gonna get to a point in the not too distant future. This topic has really depressed me. I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna get to a point in the not too distant future where companies cannot pay wages, right?
Look at Roblox. We talked about it last week, where this company valued over $60 billion. It's 4 Ubisoft's big, is entirely run by children making games, and they're not paying these children pretty much anything. And if they're paying them anything, it's just like fractions of like the wealth that they've brought to this game.
I fucking wish governments would get more involved. Seriously, I want governments to just,
remember
see the corruption, just go, nope.
Remember 2 years ago when governments got involved and they introduced things like Article 14 and they introduced things like removing net neutrality, which like allows providers to charge like different rates for different services. So basically, like they could charge like a Netflix rate or a YouTube rate. I also think that like there should be things like there's now a big push in the United States for a right to repair, where basically like this entire thing of like what Apple's doing with like serializing things or making things basically like if you have like an Apple Watch, if you've seen those things around, basically these things are just glued together, and if you want to repair them, like you bring them to like the to the Apple store and they just throw it away and give you a new one. Because these things are not designed to be opened up. And like basically this thing is pushing for, we need to have this thing fixed. And also like you see it with I think tractors, where farmers right now, if they buy a tractor, there's like the top tractor brands, like one of them is John Deere. They will not allow farmers to like service their own tractors anymore, because there's too many complicated like electronics inside. So if you fix your own tractor, like you will have to go back to your service center to have that like error in the software fixed before you can use it again. So the entire idea is like you buy this thing, but then if it breaks, you gotta like book an appointment with your service center, ship it over there, and then have the official technicians fix it, and then like they ship it back to you, which is absolutely insane if your company depends on it. But like that's what they're moving to. However, like this right to repair thing is trying to prevent like trying to like get legislation passed where this stuff like is actually made illegal, where it's like people should be allowed to access the parts, people should be allowed to like service their own things, because like it's the thing that you own, it's your thing, you should be able to use it. And yeah, like on like a positive note, I do want to bring the attention, because like it has been a little bit there. Let's go to right here. This right here is the Framework laptop, which I was talking about. This right here is a company that like pretty much recently came out with this thing. It's not in Europe yet, but this right here is a laptop which has been designed by like Apple and HP people. That like it looks pretty cool, but like the coolest thing about it is that it is entirely designed to come apart.
Oh my god! Thank you.
This thing, like if you open it up, it's very easy to open up. It only uses one type of screw. It comes with a screwdriver, so you can open it up. It has, on every single module, it has like a QR code that links to their website where there's a video and all sorts of instructions as to like what this thing is and how you can replace it. It has it has 3 types of screws in there that are inside the motherboard. Like they've put like 3 little screws in 3 different colors for the different like lengths that they have, and they've put like spare ones in there in case you lose some. They have these things right here, which are modules. So basically, what this laptop has is it has like you see like this motherboard. The keyboard just lifts up with magnets. Like you unscrew it and it lifts up with magnets. Also, like the bezel around the screen lifts up with magnets. So it's no crying. And then what it has modules. So you know how like Apple computers now only ship with like 1 USB-C port. Basically, what this thing has.
Do they?
Yeah, or like 1 or 2 USB-C
ports. My one has 4.
Yeah, like it depends on which model you have, but like
mine's a Pro.
Yeah.
My work one's a Pro.
But yeah, like basically what they have is they have these modules where what they have right now is they have 4 USB-C ports that they've recessed in, and you can buy like, or like this comes shipped with it, but like there will be many different variations, which are things that you can slide in. You can choose your own ports. So you have these like little things of like a USB-A, USB-C. You have a expansion slot in like storage. You have HDMI. You have display port. So you can choose which ports you want to have on your computer. They're not officially Thunderbolt, but they have already been tested by some people, and Thunderbolt applications work. So basically, this just allows you to choose your own ports. You can decide like probably more people will make like you will have like other third parties make other like things for it maybe.
Yeah.
So this entire thing is like this gives me hope. Like this is, if I need a new computer, this is 100% the computer I'm gonna get. It's not available yet, but like this entire thing, it's just like it's made to come apart.
That's so dope.
It's like I love this, and like I actually discovered this through like watching. I watched Lewis Rossman, who was covered it. He has actually like gone in pretty deep, where he's like, hey, like he runs a repair shop, so he was like, this sounds cool, but I want to make sure that this is real, right? So he said
Yeah.
like, do you guys also offer like schematics and board views, where like if like for like so board views and schematics basically are the blueprints of like the motherboard that show you like what kind of rails they're on, like what the entire like schematics are of the motherboard, so that if something goes wrong you can go back and you can see what each and every single chip does, and then let's say
Yeah.
that there's a fault, you can replace it. Initially they were like a little bit hesitant on there, but now they have like for every single independent repair shop they will be able to offer that. This is also a feature on Linus Tech Tips, and Linus has actually invested, I think, $225,000 into this.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah,
Um,
no, honestly, this is incredible because like laptops have not been customizable for decades, right?
yeah,
Like I cannot think of a single era where laptops were properly customizable. Even the I mean, God, these aren't called laptops. What are they called? Notebooks, right?
yeah.
Laptops were a lot larger,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, in their initial incarnation. Not like oh, this is like 4 inches deep or whatever. No, originally laptops were you would still require a table to put it on. They were effectively like a long blade server, and you would fold up the screen and things like this. They were like you could not put these on your legs, but they slowly got smaller over time.
Mm-hmm.
But geez, like this is incredible. This is the direction we should be taking technology in.
Yeah.
Not this fucking bullshit like, oh, TPM. It is literally just there to screw people out of more money. I don't know. Make your operating system more fucking affordable for one. Fucking
Mm-hmm.
assholes. But anyway, let's.
But like that's also why Linus has come around and invested into this, because like he okay, so like, I first learned about this through Lewis Rossman, who
Yeah.
because like he is also pushing, like he raised a couple of months ago, he raised over he raised over $800,000 to start a campaign against right to repair, like for right to repair in
Yes.
the United States, and like he came this across, and like that's why I learned about it. Then Linus Tech Tips made a video about it, and basically like what he said is like after much deliberation, he decided to invest in this because this is something that he says I want to see. As like for someone that likes computers, this is something which I really want to see this company succeed, because this
Yeah.
is something I want to see be the industry standard. However, because he's a review channel, like this could have major implications, because if he invests what he did, he has invested over $200,000 of his own money. Like that becomes a conflict of interest if he starts reviewing
Yeah.
other laptops. So he's basically said like, I don't know yet. Like he's already made an entire video explaining the situation, what he has done, and like he's also explained his deliberation. He's also said like from now on, I'm not gonna cover laptops. He hasn't 100% decided that like that he's never gonna cover any laptop again, because like let's say something really cool comes out that he really likes, but he's most likely going to be taking a step back because like he's very aware that this could pose a conflict of interest, but he really wanted to support this company, because like basically like what you have with something like this, it's like this is very new, and in order for this thing to grow, it needs to have like it needs to go like it needs to start up well, and it needs to have like in order
Yeah.
for big money to come in, they need to see that someone has already invested before there. And they're right now like hopefully right now this thing only supports Intel. Like it's only running Intel. However, there are rumors that AMD and Framework are talking for an AMD version, and it's not out in Europe yet.
Yeah.
If this comes out in Europe, I really want to get one. I just want to get my hands on one. I want to see what it's like, and like yeah, like this is something where like if I hear all of this stuff which we've been talking about for like the last little while, which does get me a little bit like down, looking at this, I'm like, dude, this gets me excited. I
Yes.
like this.
Yes. I like this. Can we have more topics
Yeah.
like this? This is a happy topic, right?
Uh-huh.
On that note,
Oh yeah, so hold on. I very quickly want to jump on. Spinosh says the only issue is more than Framework will have to make the parts that fit their modular ecosystem. If they don't find ways to find third party companies to make additional stuff, it will fall into obscurity quickly. So basically, like the thing with these modules, it's just USB-C.
Yeah.
So like they just have USB-C ports recessed, and it's just like in a case. So basically, like if like everyone could make these things.
I don't know if
Yeah, go ahead.
espionage is actually referring to things like graphics cards and stuff. But I actually assume that the graphics cards they're using are just mobile versions
Yeah.
of the existing generations of graphics cards. So I think these are just like this is the current existing setup. But the whole point is that the body of the chassis of the laptop is supposed to be modular in design, which that is more often than not the limiting factor when
Yeah.
it comes to laptops.
Yeah, let me see.
Um,
But yeah, go ahead. You wanted to say something?
Well, I see Arteria started a sentence with Zeno. Here's something even more depressive. So let's move on to the next topic and ignore that comment entirely because I want to be happy inside.
I just want to show you this.
Oh my
right
god.
Here. So this right here is like you know how from like display bezels most of the time are like locked like they're tied down with glue or
Yeah.
screws. This
Yeah,
fitters with
yeah, yeah.
magnets. It also has like hardware switches for like the webcam and the microphone.
Oh damn.
Just like look at how repairable that is, and look at like
Yeah.
all these QR codes where it says memory right here.
Look how
storage.
flexible that is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you try to do any of that sort of stuff with a regular. Is this live or is this a video?
This is a video, so
Okay, cool. But like, just look how flexible that plastic was.
so
Like
right there.
more off. Yeah,
These right here are spare screws, color coded,
that's awesome.
and
Honestly, this is so cool.
yeah, like basically like the unboxing experience. Already, it's also like entirely in cardboard. Like it's like very appropriate packaging.
Yeah.
Um, like
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
I like the look of it. It's got like like the design. It's not the big bulkiness of the laptop sort of thing that like mostly is like this is something which I can see people actually switch to, and you see like it
Yeah.
comes with a screwdriver, which all you need to take it apart.
Yeah. The thing that I really want to know is how much does this thing weigh, right? Because like I mean I'd be on board with this regardless of how much it weighed. But like my work Mac weighs a fucking metric ton. It is so fucking heavy, right? I really fucking well, like, granted I do need to work up a sweat more, but like I really work up a sweat when I actually carry that thing around. Anyway, I'm still trying to force you to change the topic. Let's talk about the next. We still got 2 topics.
Yeah, like we'll have to check the website for like the exact specifications, because yeah, like I don't know that by heart. But you can like you can replace a keyboard, all that sort of stuff. Wireless ports, I can't find it right here. It's look upable. The website is frame.work if you want to find it. But yeah, let's move on to the other topics before we. So yeah. Oh, actually, do we? Oh man. Okay, Twitch.
Okay. Which of the next 2 topics is the happiest, and we'll leave that one for last.
Fuck, man. I don't know.
You gotta stop picking depressing topics, man. This is making me sad. Okay, let's do the Sonic one last. Right.
So Twitch makes deal with National Music Publisher Association, but details are fake. So last week, like it actually became like known that Twitch was talking with the National Music Publisher Association because over the last year, music industry has been really hammering down on Twitch with like copy claims and stuff. Mostly because of people on streams using music that isn't licensed to them. Twitch responded back then with like first like people saying like, oh, you should delete everything, otherwise we're gonna kill your channel. And then later on they came around, they were a little bit more like, oh, we now have like this. They introduced this like Twitch soundtrack, which is Twitch licensed music, which basically like artists that are licensed for that, like they just get exposure. They're getting paid by exposure because like if you're like the entire idea of Twitch soundtrack is that these songs are allowed, like you can use them in your stream, but they're only going to be live, like they won't be saved to the FOD, and Twitch will like have a little banner somewhere which shows the title and the artist of the song. That's the idea behind it. There's no like, it's not like Facebook who just like struck a deal with like the music labels and everyone's just allowed to use like the music label music. No, Twitch is like, we're paying artists by exposure. However, recently it came known that Twitch was in talks with the music industry. However, like nothing much has come out. Like it's like there is a deal and it's gonna be yeah, let's see. It's like I don't know exactly where the official statement is, but basically it's like they spoke with like this national musician, like the music industry, which like most likely what they're going to be doing is like allowing them for like easier ways to take down streams that use copyrighted material, rather than like actually getting a licensing deal, because that is easier and that will take things away from like Twitch's responsibility. But the details are still a little bit fake. Like that's just been like around this week. Twitch emphasized that the new process will not change how music can be used legally on Twitch. Using copyright music violates the rights of users still. As part of the agreement, Twitch has created a new opt-in reporting process for rights holders to address when creators inadvertently or incidentally use their music in their streams. The process is meant to be more flexible and forgiving than the current system, but I mean, yeah. It's not really changing all that much. Yeah, like the reason I bring this up is because, like, oh my god, it's like music is such a pain. I remember back in the day when it was like, oh dude, I have some cool music, let's share it. And right now I just get scared. So now artists can do viruses. So now artists can do covers without DMCA strikes now. No, it will probably be easier for the music industry to strike because this deal doesn't really seem like it's benefiting streamers.
Oh god, yeah. Was it you telling me before the stream started that someone got DM? No, you. That was you, wasn't it?
So yeah. So basically, like last year, I decided to start archiving my streams because I think it's really cool. It's like I've streamed since like 2016. I've never saved any of these streams. I've always been very conscious about like using copyright-free music. However, as I've stated in the video before, it's like copyright-free music is really hard to find because there's so many things that say it's copyright-free, but like what makes copyright-free copyright-free? It's like just it's in the title of like a YouTube video. That's not really all that trustful. I wouldn't take that to a judge and be like, well, it's said in the title of this YouTube video is copyright-free. So I decided to like last year when I started recording my streams to like start relying on Creative Commons, which basically is a valid license. Creative Commons is a valid license for content online, where if you create something like if you create your own content basically that you own the rights to, you can like set that to a Creative Commons license, which means that it will be free for everyone to use. With certain restrictions, and you can set your own restrictions where there may be attribution, so people got to like mention your name. It can be not monetizable, so people can't make money off of it, or not like adaptable, so you can't change it. You can't like remix it or something. You can set your own things, but the idea behind Creative Commons is that you can have like a reliable licensing system where if something is licensed with Creative Commons, like you can actually go to a judge and be like, hey, this is under a Creative Commons license. You can actually like I'm allowed to use this because that also can't be revoked. That's the entire idea behind it. I switched my entire library for YouTube and Twitch to Creative Commons. Now I upload a stream of Monday, which isn't live on YouTube just yet. It's not gonna be for a while. But like I uploaded that and I actually went and looked at something like which was on YouTube. It wasn't like hit with like there was no copyright thing underneath, so I thought it was fine. It wasn't, so I was like, you know what, I'll just cut it out because I have multiple audio tracks. I'll throw like one of the copyright free songs underneath there. Things will be solved. Still got a copyright claim on there. Because apparently one of these copyright-free, these Creative Commons songs just uses like 50-60% of a sample of like a copyrighted song by Sony, and I'm just like, okay, shit. So that thing, which was officially licensed on the Creative Commons, apparently isn't, or like apparently like not entirely. That's owned also partly by something else. So what assures me now that my entire library isn't like compromised? So that gives me that gives me a lot of headache. But at the same time, it's like it's so hard to find these things because they're not really easily categorized. So you're gonna have to like scan SoundCloud, scan YouTube for like anything, and then see whether that fits your music style. So I was like, you know what? Let me check out like paid licensing companies. So you can go to something like Epidemic Sound or Monster Cat, and you can just pay the money to pay for a license and then use music. However, I was looking at Epidemic Sound, which like I know is used by a lot of YouTubers. However, they only allow one YouTube channel and one Twitch channel per account. And I have 3 YouTube channels, including my stream archive, the gaming channel, and like the main channel sort of thing. So I asked them like, what do I do? And they said just get free subscriptions. And I'm just like, yeah, like I don't think that is a viable solution.
Oh, you said 3. I thought you said 3 before. No, yeah, I was like, wait, what? Yeah.
1, 2, 3. 3 subscriptions. Basically for one channel that just stores the content of the Twitch channel, and 2 channels that are like below 1,000 subscribers where I've never made any money from. So I'm like, at this point, I really don't know what to do. I'm glad we're doing a podcast where there's like no real music here.
But yeah, I have a thought.
Yeah.
Right. Because I've seen, I don't know what your thoughts and feelings are with this, but I know a few streamers that are now are outsourcing their music. So the music that they listen to, the music. It comes through like another tab on their web browser, right? And that basically guarantees that there's no issues with the likes of Twitch. At no point in time is Twitch going to turn around and go like, no, we're going to turn you off, and you're never going to know that we've turned you off because we're Twitch. But likewise, that would also protect the VODs channel. No, the stream archive channel, so the YouTube channel, from having any music on it. And if you do decide to do like a highlights thing, you could use music from Monster Cat. Was that one of them?
Yeah, but okay, so like there's two concerns that I have with it. Like, so number one is I think like a stream is an experience in like the entirety. So I've said it before with like when the Twitch soundtrack was introduced, like that entire thing is like this music plays during the live thing, but it's not in your VOD. And like I exemplified this with like, let's say that you have a moment in your stream where you're like hold on, where you're like, oh boy, oh look at this tune that's coming on, let me just go and like dance to the beat, it's so fantastic. Not that I do that often, but like let's say something like that happens, or like, oh, that timed so well, and like it's not in the thought, it's like you just miss part of the experience. A large part is gone. At the same time, I feel it's kind of like it's still a question of legality. It's like ultimately I would love for this to become a business that I could rely on, and if this is a business that like I don't want to 100% rely on YouTube or Twitch, I never want to do that, but I do want to in some way, shape, or form be able to rely on this, that like tomorrow my channels will still be around. And if I set up something right now where I can avoid the detection systems, that still means that the content that I'm making contains possibly music that is not allowed and I could get in trouble for. And that is something which like I don't want to risk. I don't want to have this thing where it's like, hey, all of a sudden, let's say like a breakthrough happens or something, and like it's like, oh, you become the next Ninja or something, or you become the next PewDiePie, and then all of a sudden like you have these people that smell money because they're like, oh, that's a big streamer, or that's a big YouTuber, and let's go for the archive. Oh wait, hey, they've been using the system and they've been playing our music because we have these clips of people that have compiled this together, or you're still using this right now. And oh wait, like you're still using music that you don't have a license to. Granted, you're not using it for Twitch, but you're still using it. So like that's the same thing as like, hey, you're not dealing drugs on like the schoolyard, but you're still dealing drugs like just outside the schoolyard. It's like you're still doing something which you could get in trouble for. Not that I necessarily like feel that bad about like using music, because like the thing is like, yes, I agree that if someone owns the rights to something, like you can't just take it, because like I would hate if people re-upload my videos. But at the same time, with the way that it has been handled, it's been handled so poorly, where like if you use a 2-second clip in like a 20-minute video, the entire video gets like the ad revenue gets claimed, which is ridiculous. Like how could that even like be fair? That I don't feel remotely bad for like that music industry, not at all, not a single like fiber in my being, but like I still don't want to get in trouble. So it's something where like I want to like make sure that I adapt to a system which is safe as fast as possible. And I thought this system was safe, and I still largely believe it's safe. I think it's only one song so far over like an entire year of using this that has got me into like, oh hey, this thing is now monetized by another claimant, but I just don't want to have it. I just want to make sure that I'm 100% sure. And right now I just need to look for a new solution. So that's...
I mean, one thing that is really so I don't know how much you've seen FrameCast or how much your audience has
I've
seen.
seen like the first 2-3 episodes, I think.
Okay, cool. But it's really interesting. When we want to talk about something that is a show, and we have a clip that we want to talk about, we have oh gosh, what do we do? We have a clip segment where we can turn off our microphones, we can turn on the speakers, and we can play the audio of the clip, and so on and so forth. And one of the near constant issues we have is no matter what clip we have, we get some level of copyright claim, right? So there's no basically there's no monetization options available. Sometimes we had one episode, we were so close to using one clip that was Crunchyroll's own clip, right? The creditation goes to Crunchyroll. We didn't upload it, they did. We played that, and we did it like a 15-minute test. It was 20 seconds of footage, and the video was taken down. Yeah. Like, hold on, 20 seconds out of a 15-minute video. Are you fucking for real? If we had recorded the whole
2-hour podcast, and because of 20 seconds, the whole thing was taken down, I would have been livid.
Well,
Right?
I think that and like $100 million has definitely also been a reason why people like Joe Rogan have moved to Spotify.
Yeah.
Because like they would also face it where if they would watch something like the entire podcast would monetize. Or I mean, I remember a couple years back, PewDiePie would still like watch, like react to things with music in there that was actually from the clip, but he stopped doing that. Like anything that shows up right now has like his own music transplanted onto it, because like
Yeah.
basically what happens, like I can very well imagine that this happens with like big channels like PewDiePie, where like if people see a chance they'll just strike, and what you'll have is that like you'll lose a channel like a single video's ad revenue, and just imagine like ad revenue of like 3 to 4 million views per video just going to like a 10-second clip that you reacted to. It's like, even if that's like you could argue that's fair use, but like they're never going to go after that, but you'd lose like thousands of dollars to that. So like it's not worth the hassle, because like it's so really weirdly rigged.
Yeah, it's like the problem is it's who has the most money to spend on the most expensive lawyers, because whoever's got the deeper pockets, they're the one that's going to win the claim, right?
And it's also like YouTube and Twitch actually need to like spread open their asshole for these companies, because what they like what you have with like things like Article 13, like they're actually like moving towards making the platforms responsible for what's on there. I mean, like you also see that right now with like this stuff with like Corona and stuff, where like there's actually push from like governments and stuff to make platforms responsible for the stuff that's on there. And I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea at all. It's like, because a platform should just be like a town square in which like anyone can post, and the people that post should be responsible. But what you're going to get right now, if YouTube or Twitch are going to be like, oh shit, we're now responsible for, like, if you're going to make us slightly responsible for like the content that's being posted on here, now what we need to do is we just need to like put that blame directly to like the people that uploaded it. So like what they're going to do is like, if there's only like the slightest like report of like, oh, this is copyright, this is my copyright, it's like, okay, we'll take it down. Oh, there's like 2 seconds of music. Oh, you just get all the revenue. Please don't sue us. Like that's just the way to go about it.
Like I see my solution, my dream Star Trek solution, my utopian solution is, found an organization, work with musicians that I mean, Blue Demon has turned around and said, like, at this point, I just want to make my own music and then copyright my own music. Like, if you could work with people to create an organization of indie composers, and then like, hey, this is my music, no one can copyright it, that would be fucking amazing. But when I heard yesterday that PETA, like the American organization that's used to save, they're a charity that's out there to save homeless animals and things, murdering animals just because, like, oh yeah, but then at least that the baby animals won't be homeless. What the fuck?
I have never ever heard PETA being discussed as like a positive thing.
Positive,
And
yeah.
because like I remember there was this one clip where I think like they're basically what they there was this one clip where they're stealing a homeless man's dog to like take it to like a place where they're gonna put it down, because it's like it would be too inhumane to let that dog live with like this homeless person outside, and it's just heartbreaking to see. And it's
Yeah.
like it's like, how dare you? But like there's this entire like as far as I'm aware, like the entire organization is a fucking meme, where like they would post these things like, oh, instead of like instead of saying things like kill two birds with one stone, it's like do something that doesn't like involve animal harm, sort of thing, like the saying. And then like someone just reacts to it like, and again, PETA goes to show that there's more than one way to skin a cat. And it's just like, it's such a fucking cool meme. But yeah, it's what there was something I want to get onto. You were talking about like PETA, you were talking about
Organizations, creating an indie organization.
Oh yeah, yeah. So this is why I don't feel bad for the music industry at all either, is because with book sales, like how much of a percentage an author earns, like if they sell a book.
Yeah, it's fucking tiny.
It's almost the same with musicians. Like artists,
I thought the musician got less.
Yeah, they get so little,
Yeah.
That the reason why they sell shirts at like live tours and why they tour so much is because that's the only way they really make money. Because like a majority of the percentage just goes to the label. For
Yeah.
like, like that's insane. Like this entire like music industry, it's there to like screw the people that make the money, screw the people that make the music, screw the people that use the music, and it's like, man.
I remember
Yeah.
years ago. This was back in the 90s when video games were like £20 a game. Yes, £20 a video game. We're talking like $25, right? A video game. Like fucking Christ. Today, anyway.
Hold on. Very sorry. Like, I need to break this with a very tiny little thing. Okay, did you hear about the PlayStation Horizon Zero Dawn debacle or the Horizon Forbidden West?
No.
So basically, PlayStation came around and they promised back when they announced the PlayStation 5 that Horizon Forbidden West would launch on the PS5, but if you bought a PS4 version, you could upgrade for free. Like you could put it into your PS5, you could upgrade for free. Then they had the PlayStation Showcase a couple weeks back, and they announced that there would be a $60 version for the PS4 and a $70 game for the PS5, and you could not upgrade your PS4 game into a PS5 thing if you put it in your PS5, because that's the way it was. Then people got mad about that because they were like, "You promised. There's footage of you saying that we could put this into it and it would free upgrade. It was a launch title. You said it. There were also people defending this. There were literally people defending this. Like people fucking defend this." Then Sony turned around and said like, "Oh yeah, we did promise that. So yeah, for this title we'll allow it." So right now you have, if you want to buy Horizon Forbidden West, buy the $60 PS4 game and pop it into your PS5 because the PS5 disc is $70, even though it's the exact same fucking game. You're talking about $20 games. This generation they're pushing to like PS5 $70, PS4 $60. Same game.
Waiting. Like I'm really genuinely wondering. Like I think it's gonna be a Bethesda title. It's always a fucking Bethesda title. But like when will it be that we start paying £100 base price for a game? Like I don't know if anyone's played it. Void Train. Void Train is actually a really good fun game. If you like Raft, I think you'd like Void Train. It's very much a co-op game. You are assembling a train as you go along. It's really good fun. But anyway, so my story way back when games were £20, like PC Zone, the journalist magazine, they did a breakdown of how much of the £20 went to the developers, and basically £1.
Wow.
19 pounds of that actually went to the publisher, and it was like, what the literal fuck? Yes, I get it. Marketing costs a lot, but if your game's fucking good enough, word of mouth's gonna cover it, right? You know, I mean, no, I'm gonna say this. Look at Warframe. You know, Warframe, was very successful with a shoestring budget because the studio is going under, and they just went and relied entirely on word of mouth.
I mean, I would say that was the case with Warframe, but at the same time, like I was recently speaking with Defton about this, where it's like marketing is it's somewhat almost more important than like what you bring to the table. Like for instance, like look at you, like how long have you done YouTube for, right? And like look at your content. Look at like I would say you're a very likable human being. Your podcasts are fun to listen to. So if I were to compare that to like the top podcasts that are out there, if I were to compare it to like the top content or like the most popular content that's out there, I don't think you do under by much. I don't think you do under by like the huge percentage that you're like down under by sort of thing. But most like I feel that most of the things when it comes to Twitch or YouTube, I think most people that are out here on this platform that have really small channels, like they're very likable human beings. So I will probably have some really good content out there, really good quality content. I mean, I really hate that. Like I know about Joey Ciro and I know about his channel, that I can't rediscover it for another time when I was like super into Warframe, that I can't just like rediscover this channel and be like, oh my god, just look at how amazing this looks. Oh my god, look at it. What the fuck is this game? It's like I can't have that again. But like there are people like that out there. But you don't know where they are because you don't know their name, you don't know their channels, you don't know what they do. But the reason why people go to PewDiePie's, why people go to Ninjas sort of thing, is because these names kind of float around. You check them out. They're just like most other people, very likable human beings. Their content where you're like, oh yeah, that's kind of fun. And you stick around watching because, you know, it's kind of fun. And that's a lot of times also with games. I feel, I'm not quite sure, but I think with the games, it's also very much a case where it's like, you know, there are so many really cool indie games probably around, which are so amazing, but we'll never know about because there's so many. Like, you can't ever play all the games on Steam. But then there's like a new game that comes out that people are talking about on Twitter that's like being advertised somewhere. So like people talk about it, there's buzz about it. It's like, let me check it out. Oh yeah, that's enjoyable. I had fun with that. You know, yeah, that was a fun game. And I think that is where like marketing shouldn't be underestimated. But at the same time, the fact that like 90% of like more than 90% of the budget goes to marketing and like very little to like the actual thing itself, that's still crazy. But I think that marketing is still like a very important part of it, because if quality was the only thing that would actually like lead to success, then I think that there would be so many more people that would actually like be so much better off, rather than like, I mean, like,
I think
the bar of filming like a dead body in a suicide forest is like set like that's a really low bar to cross for success, right? You know, for like quality content. So
if I understand correctly, both the Paul brothers are now off YouTube.
are they?
Yeah, my understanding. So one of them, I think, is in prison, or
Really?
you know, he's been. Yeah, I think there was a raid on his house at one point, and like they collected so many guns that were just lying around. And I think the other one's gone into boxing, professional league boxing.
I mean, like, I don't really keep up with them that much.
Don't want to
But yeah,
keep up with them.
let's see. I mean, like, oh my god, you're all right. Like, the one has posted 3 weeks ago, and the other one has posted 3 months ago, for like the
Yeah.
people that used to post like every single day.
Apparently Paul Logan is now doing boxing matches on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you see how much money that makes, I can understand that they do that.
Yeah, I
And
think
yeah,
he gets like an insane amount of money for doing it.
yeah, that Jake Paul is looking at like a potentially 1-year jail sentence for alleged looting, but that
Yeah.
is from August 2021. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
just, yeah, from about a
Really
month.
recently. So yeah, but yeah, so it's like, I mean, yeah, a low bar, yes, very low bar. Thank God
Yeah.
they're gone. Right, okay. I think this the whole music thing. I think realistically, crowdfunding is probably the easiest thing to do, like the easiest solution.
Watch
But
watch out for that though, because
it's difficult.
you know, but like, you know how many, like, this is the thing why I don't necessarily believe like, I don't think crowdfunding is that
Yeah.
much the way, because how many fucking projects have there been where people are like, I want to make game. I have no experience. I have no idea how to do this. I've never fucking done
Sorry,
this.
I want to
but,
correct you. I want to correct you.
Or
I'm talking about, like, you know, so Trash Taste, the
Mhm.
anime podcast. You know, they are funded exclusively by Patreon,
Mhm.
right? The ad revenue doesn't touch their stuff. That's what I mean. Like, if you want to do like Twitch streaming and well, mostly YouTube. It's mostly the YouTube side that's the problem. You know, I think
Well,
crowdfund.
well, this is the thing though. It's like, I get that Twitch is a lot more profitable. I mean, like, in my case, I've earned so much more from Twitch than I've ever earned from YouTube. Also because my YouTube ad revenue has been 2 cents. So I mean, it's not a really high bar to cross. However, I do have to say that like, what I find with Twitch is like, I don't really enjoy Twitch's model that much. Like,
Yeah.
I do stream on Twitch pretty much daily, but I'm not a big fan of like the culture all that much, because I'd rather have that I can sell you like a product or give you something, rather than that you just throw money, like donate money to streamers. Because I feel this entire like Twitch platform has like such a strong culture around, you gotta donate or you gotta subscribe, and basically it just means throwing money towards like giving money towards a streamer where you're not going to get like anything physical in return. Like, yes, you could say like, well, you're getting the content, but like, I mean, like, everyone's like that's watching the content for free is getting the same content as you. And like, I think it's totally fine if people want to make sound financial decisions, like they are able to like support the stream, and they're going to be able to like say, hey, you know, I have my paycheck. I can spare $5. I really like this. I really want the stream to continue. Yeah, I'll support it. Like, I like that, but I also know from my own experience where I was like rather new to Twitch, and like we would have this thing where, you know, it'd be like, oh, like this entire idea of like a hype train. Yeah, guys, let's subscribe. And oh, I really appreciate so much if you subscribe. Or oh, let's go and do a subathon where like everyone subscribes. Come on, guys, everyone subscribe. Oh, it's September. Everyone please subscribe with half off. It's like I hate that culture because basically like you guys are like it gets people to spend. Like it reinforces people to spend for something where they're not getting anything in return. Like I would absolutely love if there was like if there were ways where for like selling merchandise where like if you could buy something, a physical item from me where like you could actually put money on, you get something in return and that gives me a kickback. I like that more because you're actually getting something in return. I would like it way more if like there would be sponsorships in the sense of I like the ad spots that like Linus Tech Tips does because it's like at the beginning at the start of the video, it's like 10 seconds of like double tap on like your video player basically. You can skip it, but it's also like it's saying it's an ad. So this video is sponsored by this, and it's not like trying to be sly. It's just saying like this company wants to say this. I like that too because it's basically just like, you know, a company wants to pay to like me to say to say something that they want to say, but also not in a way like I like Raid Shadow Legends. I love that game. It's my favorite. Like they would never say this. It's like Raid Shadow Legends. It's a game. You know, you're just talking about like it's very clear and effort. I like that too, or something where it's like a like it needs to be some sort of like genuine way. Like I don't like this sly attitude of Twitch where it's like throw bits, throw down money. You're only cool if you're a subscriber. If you're a subscriber, then you can get into my exclusive chat and actually talk with me. Because if you don't give me money, I don't think you're worth talking to. Oh, like I hate that. I fucking hate that because why the fuck would there be? Would this person would person A that's been watching my channel for 5 years like nonstop would be less worth for me to like I won't even speak to them because they can't afford to like pay me because like their financial situation is not that great because let's face it, not everyone has like $5 a month to spend on every single streamer they watch. But why would that person be that just literally right now during the stream has a bunch of spare cash laying around, gifts 400 subs, and now it's like, oh, and now you talk to me? It's like, fuck that is ridiculous. I really hate that. I really hate that. It's like I like the idea. Like I really appreciate people that are supporting the stream. That are supporting me for Patreon or like Twitch. But at the same time, I do wish that there was a more like a less pushy way or like I wish you could get something like in return for your money that would actually be a sound investment because this is so often leads to a way in which people are just like kind of like encouraged into spending. I don't like people spending their money in a way that like I don't want there to be a situation where it's kind of like I am arguing against their behalf sort of thing, which I feel a lot of times streamers tend to do because like you got $5 to spend, right? It's like they're trying to talk you out of your $5, and I want to like be able to argue for you sort of thing.
There's like, come on, stupid. Freaking, so I'm trying to find a video that Loz linked absolutely ages ago. Yes, it is. Oh, memology. Jesus fucking Christ, can we please spell this correctly? So I thought it was memeology. It's not. It's fucking memology. Loz sent it to me absolutely ages ago.
Mm.
Where it's someone doing subscription, so like try on Twitch, like, oh, please subscribe, please subscribe, please subscribe, and like, I'm trying to find it now.
I mean, like there was, I think a year or two ago, there was this one streamer, a clip went pretty around because they were like insulting people that couldn't subscribe. It's like, you don't have $5 to spend on this content that you're watching for free. Get the fuck out of here. You like poor people. Like they were. Oh, it was so weird. It was so weird. But like, it kind of brings like I don't do hype trains. I think it's the most like manipulative shit that there's out there. And like the thing for me is like Twitch is really about like having this communication, like having this interaction with people.
Here it is.
You'll go ahead. Yeah.
I don't. Do you want me to? I don't know if you want to play it on your thing. Or
just throw it in Discord.
It's this one. E-beggar.
E-beggar blames viewers for holding positivity hostage.
Yeah. So basically, he's basically saying like, oh man, I'm really down right now. Unless we play. Yeah. Do you want to just play it? Can the audience hear it?
I think they can.
Just sure. Can you guys hear it?
I think they should be able to hear it. I don't know how much is like. Let me just very quickly check. It should be alright.
All right. 2 quick things, guys. First of all, we are halfway through our stream. All right, we're halfway through the stream, and I want to say thank you so far. You've been a great audience.
Are you able
thank
to
you
turn
to
it
those who
down?
contributed. We got Mr.
Yeah.
Minecraftish1, who is currently the top tipper of the night, and we're up to $43 of tips. Now, we got 1 hour left. First of all, I absolutely would like to at least get to the halfway tips goal, but it would be great to put on a vest at $100, you know. I'm ready to game, bro. Who's ready? Come on, who's ready? Earlier today, I'll tell you right now, being honest with everyone, the Resident Evil 8 streams are going great. The Resident Evil 8 streams, I've actually hit the $200 tips goal 2 days in a row and exceeded it a little bit. The problem is this is the second night in a row now the late streams are way under. I'm not even hitting the $100 goal on the late stream. So essentially what's happening, it's negating the positivity that we get on the first stream by exceeding the goal. You see?
I've seen this happen so much. Like this is why I don't like donation bars and shit on Twitch. It's like this stuff where it's like we need to reach this amount of amount of subscribers. We need to reach this amount of money for like who cares? It's like
Yeah.
I hate this idea of celebrating that I get money or like a streamer gets money. Like why should you celebrate that I get paid? Like and not paid by just like I mean like let's imagine let's imagine that there was like this Twitch bounty system which like some people say exists but I've never seen exist, but like let's say that it's there. I mean we had it with Loots too. Like you had this thing where people could send messages, ads would pop on the screen, and then you get paid by those ads. Like let's say that there was some sort of sponsorship where like basically like the more people viewed, the more money you would just be paid. Like I could imagine that you just be like, yo guys, come on, this, you know, we normally just have this stream already with everyone that's here, but now like there's this third party that's just like paying us money, so everyone has to sit here, like, you know, it's just giving money. Like I can imagine like there's some way in which like you could be happy for someone because you could just sit there and like because if you sit there they could earn more money. I could see that maybe, but so that's still very like egocentric. It's like, oh, I'm the only one benefiting now, but this is literally like I am the only one benefiting from you guys because you are giving me money. Ooh, isn't it exciting? And I hate that. I just can't stand it. I remember very clearly I rated like a streamer at some point in time. I'm not gonna say who they are, but I've not rated them since. There was years back where like I rated them, and I think it was like during September or something. And I go by them, like my community joins in, and like the first one is like, "Hey, how's it going, everyone?" So if you're coming in right now, please hit that subscription button because it's September, so you can subscribe for half off, and you can actually like, you know, keep that subscription going, and it's fantastic, and you can support the channel right here. And I'm just like, dude, you haven't even introduced yourself. Why the fuck would anyone be paying money for you right now? It's like I don't get it.
I totally see where you're coming from. I do think that being able to finance yourself is really important, and I think the quality of the content helps lean towards opening up your wallets, right? The big side to that is it's up to you, right? It's like pretty much everyone I know that supports my endeavors, they do it freely, right? They don't expect, a lot of them don't expect anything in return, and those that have, they don't stick around. They pay the bare minimum and then they fuck off, right? They you know, and they expect the world, which is like, oh my god, that's blown up in my face so badly in the past. But a lot of people that want to see you succeed would be happy to financially support you if they can, right? But I know we've had a terrible year with 2020. A lot of people have lost their jobs, so on and so forth. But I can appreciate that not everyone can afford to do that. I do think that it's a very trying time with Twitch, with YouTube. There is no easy win, right? Hell, like, don't let anyone know this, but Joey's actually started doing TikToks.
Yeah,
like,
dude. I came into a stream last week, and I was just like, "Hey, how's my favorite forklift doing?"
Yeah.
But he was like, "Hey, Misha, do you have TikTok?" And I was like, "Wait, hold on, what? Why are you asking?" And he actually never responded in that entirety to our stream, like why he asked. But
Yeah.
like, I guess he has TikTok. But did you know that like they pay like, I think that what you get for like $1 per 1,000 views, you get like on TikTok $1 per million views or something. Like the payouts are insanely less because like the views are worth so much less. It's like I can never imagine that be like a stable AdSense like thing, or people stick around. Because how can you watch a 30-second clip of someone while you're scrolling through your feed and then be like, I'm gonna pledge to that person's Patreon? I can't imagine that.
No. I think the weird thing with Patreon, no, sorry, with TikTok, is that you get paid per view as opposed to paid per click, which I think exists on YouTube and Twitch. I think.
I think I think I heard that like YouTube has like a certain dollar amount per 1,000 views, and I think that's the same as per million views for TikTok because the views are so much cheaper.
Yeah.
The way that YouTube grows is like you click on the video, you watch the video. Most of the time it's 10 minutes. TikTok just scroll.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's where do I want to go? We were talking about like Twitch, YouTube, people that want to support you can. Oh yeah, like the rewards thing. So like that's one of the reasons why I don't put any rewards to my subscription or like Patreon, because first of all that would detract from like the actual content that's out there. But at the same time, like I don't want to give anyone the feeling that if you give money or like you will become any more extra special, because I don't want people to like feel that they have to. Because like the thing is, it's like, okay, random tangent a little bit, but I remember, like, do you remember back in the day that there used to be this game on Windows? This was called the Solitaire game, which is like a little card game. So do you know like how you like you place the cards on top and you can like you turn them around when they're like face down, like the moment you take one you turn them around, you can click on them, they turn around, you can see what card is there. Do you know that?
What's the point you're trying to get to? Just jump to the point.
Basically, so when I was a little kid, my dad taught me to play that game, and my dad always said, the moment you place a card on like another card, you gotta like first tap the card to like flip it around before you do anything else. And the reason why he said that was obviously because then you know what card is underneath there. You shouldn't go back to the pile, because let's say you take like a card from the pile and then all of a sudden you find it's like it was also like flipped down. You could have used that. But I thought that he was saying that because I was playing against a computer, and the computer would then have time to like swap out the worst possible card underneath there. So I would have to tap really fast so like the computer couldn't swap that card in time.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, because he didn't explain it at that point in time. However, like because I thought I was playing against a computer, that wasn't the case. However, that is becoming more and more real, where you are actually playing against the game, because a lot of these like these free to play games out there, their model is not to provide you with entertainment. Their model is to provide you to make you be engaged, so that you are more likely to spend money or be a viewer statistic or like a player statistic. So what you see with games like these battle royale games, I feel pretty certain that they use some form of algorithm that like is psychologically like supported by like what keeps you playing the longest, what kind of games keep you playing the longest, how much you have to win and lose to keep you playing the longest, kind of like gambling mechanics. And I feel that games, especially when you have this extra computing power that's available, this always online thing where you can basically just like you can collect so many data from player profiles, it's insane. And you can just fine tune the game to like get exactly that behavior from the players you want to get. It's like you actually get into a point now, and definitely in the future, where games can actually like what I thought that the solitaire game was doing, can actually be playing against you, not in the way that they're trying to make your game harder. No, actually in the way that they can like manipulate you to either keep playing longer or actually to get spending money. Like remember the Fortnite thing, where basically like if you were in Fortnite and you haven't bought a skin yet, they will constantly throw into lobbies with like skins to like get you to buy. And that is something where I'm like, this like games used to be things where like you'd go to like escape the world. And that's also what I feel when it comes to Twitch and YouTube. It's like something where you want to escape to just like forget about the world and your troubles. And like how cruel and how nasty must you be if you have people that go to your stream for their like escape from their life. And let's face it, there's a bunch of people that are facing financial problems, right? Yeah. There's a lot of people that are facing financial issues because like that's something which a lot of people do, especially during these times. And how cruel must you be that you have these people that come to you, that come to your stream for like for like their escape from the world, and then you're trying to lure them in via hype trains, via donation goals, to like not to be like, oh, let me make you feel better. No, please give me money. You're preying on them. You're preying on people that come to you for their escape. It's like, how can you do that? I fucking hate that. I never ever want to be that way.
I have a question for you, my
Mhm.
good sir. No, put us
Oh, yeah.
level.
Oh, yeah.
Put us level. Put us level.
Mhm.
Good. I have a question for you, good sir.
Yeah.
How would you feel if Twitch and the music organizations of America would allow you to play whatever music you wanted, but if you do, you cannot earn any money from Twitch? We could say this is like a month by month basis, right? But basically, the subscriptions would be paused, right? Or better yet, the subscription money would it would be paused. So the viewers wouldn't have to pay for your stream. In fact, basically you get suspended.
Yeah, like the monetizing in
or
YouTube, as Arturia says. Like,
Yeah.
I would not end up using that, just because like the thing is like, what is then the difference between like me just getting an Epidemic Sound subscription and just using that? It's like I'm not that much of a mainstream media music fan anyway. So if there's money, which I just like, if you're gonna have to spend money, sacrifice money anyway, I'd much rather have that. You may get like a couple more dollars from like the ads that play beforehand, or from the people that do want to like support the channel, rather than just have people just like throw like. Because, like, let's say that all the money would go to Twitch. Like, that would make me feel horrible for people that would just subscribe. I would actually just say,
Yes.
like, don't,
Yeah.
don't
So that's
subscribe.
that's why the subscriptions would pause.
Yeah. But, like I don't have that much of a desire to actually play mainstream music. Because, like, I'm totally fine with, like, a lot of the, like, copyright-free or Creative Commons music that I found is pretty damn cool. It's just that I just want to make sure that the music I use is right. Like, I have no desire to play, oh, God, just... never gonna give you up. I've no desire to like play that on stream. I have no desire to play like, what is it, Michael Jackson on stream or anything. There's a bunch of alternatives out there that I'm totally fine with. Because like, I mean, like the thing is, at the end of the day, like Twitch is still a business, like, and YouTube is still a business. I do still want to make money out of it. Like, it's not that I hate money, and like the thing right now is like, I would love to get to a point where the audience is big enough that like through like the Twitch ads, or the people that do feel like pitching in, or just like the bounties, or like Twitch or like games like sponsoring me, sort of thing. Like, I would love to get to a point where like I can actually like it. The return makes sense, because like right now I'm at a point where like, hey, a new game comes out, it's $60. Like right now it's not worth it financially to say, hey, I'm gonna buy this game, I'm gonna play it at launch, because I'm never gonna get $60 out of like ad revenue from like, or subscriptions or Patreon, like from playing that game. It's not gonna happen. And that's not right now what my goal is, but like I would love to like be able to at the start of like when a game comes out, to like play that. I would love to like be able to cover that, be able to like, hey, let's go and take a look. Is this something you should buy? Is this something you shouldn't buy? Let's just experience it in fun. Like, you guys can see it. However, the thing is that right now I still have to be very wary with what I pick and choose. I can't just go and pick up any game just because it looks nice, because I still have to like watch out that I don't go overspent, because I've done that with like the Warframe days. I remember.
So I have a question for you that I'd like you to pontificate on.
Yeah.
Maybe don't worry about answering now. Maybe just, let's bring this up for the next time. Maybe write it down. What is the difference between earning the money via subscriptions on Twitch and earning the money on subscriptions through Ko-fi or Patreon, or I think someone said eBag or something like that, like there's, or PayPal? Have a think about it. I'd be very interested to know what your response is
I would say that right now it's the same. I feel the same
Okay.
about it. The only thing that I feel like the thing that I feel is very important is the culture around it and the way that you present it. So like I will always tell people, like you don't have to subscribe. I will not I will not treat you differently if you subscribe. You feel free to like if at any point in time you need to stop it, I can 100% understand. Same with Patreon, same
Yeah.
with like
Yeah, yeah.
donating. And also like every single time like that people like sometimes people come around and they do gift like a bunch of subs or do donate big amounts. I'm like, I'm not someone that's like, oh, who can top that? Or like, oh, we can go.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
are you okay? Right? It's like,
Yeah.
I think that the most important difference is that there needs to be, like, it's the way it's brought. And like, the big difference then between Twitch and these other things is that
Mm.
friction. You notice like the streamer friction of like how easy it is to like do something.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you click to a Patreon link, you have to go there. Like it's more steps. People are like deterred away from it. And Twitch just has it very prominently. You have the bits, you have like the donations, and you have like the subscription thing. And like if that's the first thing I talk about in the stream, we're like, hey, if you want to
Oh,
be cool,
yeah.
you got to subscribe. If you want to have the emotes, you
No,
got to
no, no, no.
subscribe. Like,
We're
that is
not.
the
We're
big
not.
difference.
We're not talking about the application. We are just talking about the revenue coming from those individual.
Yeah, no, that's
Okay.
the same. And like that's also
Cool.
why I that's why I do have these things open if people want to use them. But it's all about like how you go about it.
Right. I think because we're actually getting on quite a bit in
Yeah.
terms of the length of the stream, why don't we do the last topic and then call it a day?
All right, let's just make the last topic a quick one because basically we talked about this last time. There's a really cool video by Carl Jobs about it on YouTube about this Wada Games and like these auction company which are just like kind of like have been allegedly colluding together to drive up the price of really old games to like make them collectibles, and then like basically they own a bunch of these games and to sell them for like insane profits as like they're creating this artificial bubble. And basically like a game right here, hold on, I can just show this right here. I showed the article right here. So former Sonic boss expresses disbelief as what a certified game sold for over $330,000. It's a scam, right? So yeah, Yuki Naka, former boss of Sega's Sonic the Hedgehog team, has expressed surprise over the $430,000 sale price of a copy of the original Sonic on Sega Genesis. Like basically, this game just like sold for an insane amount. There is a really cool video about it by Corey Ops. I would recommend you check it out. But this was just it selling for such an insane amount. You can see right here, final sale price $430,500, an all-time record high for like the Sega Genesis game. It's got a 9.4 rating according to them. Like the idea is that they're doing this in order to like make people believe that there's this bubble where people can buy into, and you gotta invest now so that like next time the prices are gonna be higher. But you just see that like they're just like, what is this? Is it a scam? That's a scam, right? I wondered if it was time for Sonic to reach a high. It's like it's just insane. Like how this is still going on. I just thought it was interesting that the actual like director just steps in and just like calls it out for being like, yeah, this can't be real, right? So yeah, like I really hope that at a certain point in time people see through this, that it's not actually worth this much, and that actually the people that want to play these games, that want to own these games because they're just video game collectors that until now just had like a really nice hobby to themselves, and now all of a sudden have to pay through the nose because everything's going to be becoming more expensive. Hopefully it will return to normal. So that was kind of that.
Sorry, I'm going to eBay. So there's a copy for 13 quid.
Oh, nice.
There's another copy for 9 quid. There's another copy for 2 quid. Like, what the literal fuck? What's the most expensive version of this? Hold on. Can I sort by highest to lowest? What were you saying?
That's the video documentary. I will also post it in Twitch.
Yeah.
Oh
my god, there's a copy of The Lion King here for $954.90. Fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Sonic and Knuckles Japan game, 197. I'm still trying to find a copy of just the original Sonic the Hedgehog. buy all of that for 100. I just want the game by itself. Just the game. Just the game. Most expensive copy, 72.53. That's the highest costing
Alright.
version of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, luckily it hasn't bled over to the UK then yet. That's good.
That's
Keep it
like,
this way.
I'm sorry, that's just absolutely insane.
It's still an insane amount, but I mean, like, it's literally just like trying to drive up price. Like they're pushing for which game is gonna break the 1 million mark, just because like it becomes collectible. Like, not
I really get it. I really get the value of having a physical copy of the game, right? It's important to preserve, right?
Mhm.
But you can preserve it on a DVD or a USB stick just as much as you can on a cartridge. Yeah? I'm fucking flabbergasted that these assholes will fucking do this shit.
Yeah, Blue Demon actually makes a really good point. He says, "I recommend you buy the buy PS3 and PS3 games, the like right now when they're still very cheap, because those are ones that could really get expensive because the PC cannot emulate them. Like the PlayStation 3's architecture is one that has been like quite tough to like emulate in PC. That's also why the PS4 has trouble with it or can't even do it. So I can see that like the PS3 might be something where like, hey, if you really enjoyed games on there, you want to play them, like that might be something tough. Then again, I do feel that at a certain point in time we will get to points where things can be emulated, but I'm glad I got my PS3. I got both, like pretty much all my games from the PS3 so on the physical disc, so I'm glad about that. But
Yeah, I mean, unless the PlayStation 4 doesn't use binary, I mean, so the PlayStation 3 doesn't use binary, I can't really see how we can not emulate it. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure we can get emulators for game. No, I know we can get emulators for GameCube games, right?
yeah.
But GameCube games, the discs span anti-clockwise, and that was supposed to be a massive. Oh yeah, you can't play this on anything that isn't a GameCube. Yeah, and like, yeah, we'll be able to do it with PlayStation 3 if it hasn't been done already.
I mean, PlayStation 3's running crying babies. Remember that one little weird advert that they did?
No.
Oh boy, you've never seen that! Holy
No,
shit!
I might have, but which PlayStation 3 advert? I mean,
Oh
to be fair,
my-
I don't watch TV for a very specific reason.
Oh
and that's
my
because I
god,
hate
dude.
adverts.
Okay, so Drew, do you want to buy a PlayStation 3?
I don't know. Do I?
All right, I'm gonna convince you to buy a PlayStation 3 with this advert right here. You're gonna love it. I bet you want to buy a PlayStation 3 right now. I'm not
I'm just
gonna
gonna
play
point
with,
out. You know, I can't hear it, right?
I'm not gonna
Oh
play
wait,
with
is
music.
this? Oh, the fuck.
I'm not gonna play this with music, but this right here is the official PlayStation 3 ad. Okay? You want to buy a PlayStation 3 already? You want to buy it?
What is it supposed to make this toy come to life because of how amazing it is?
You want to buy it? Crank baby.
What the fuck?
Do you want to buy it? Look, it's lifting. You want to buy it? Play Beyond. PlayStation 3. So? Do you want to buy it?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I had not seen that advert.
It's the weirdest shit. That was actually a legit advert.
I think I can't remember if it's PlayStation or Xbox where the kid gets gets a round peg and forces it into the square hole.
I don't know about that one.
I know it's a console. I just can't remember if it's Xbox or PlayStation. All I remember is, yeah, it does feel like playing that when you're playing on the console. It may have been Xbox.
Oh man. Yeah, it's companies get weird sometimes with their ads. Just
Really
like we
fucking
get
do,
weird
don't they?
sometimes, taking a 2-hour podcast to almost 3 hours. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Okay, so with regards to this, like, just oh god, was it Weta certified?
Yeah,
No, Wata?
yeah, just like I would really recommend, if you want to know more about this, check out the Core Ops video, which I link down below, because it goes really into depth about how this this stuff works.
Are they the people that also certify like the Magic the Gathering cards as well and the baseball cards?
Yeah. I think so. Like basically, they just built their own like certification like business, and like
Yeah.
the moment that was set up, that it had no history whatsoever in video games, it was already like licensed to this auction website. Was already we're gonna use this because it's trustworthy because it's just been made, but we trust it, and now it's gonna grade everything really high, so we can sell things. And yeah, it's a very interesting, complex situation. It is, I don't know. It's like bubbles shit. It's unfortunate that it like pertains to like the video game industry. Blue Demon says it would be too expensive to make a PC that can emulate PS3, as you would need to make 3 chains of processes work together. I think at a certain point in time, it will be able to be done. Just given.
Wait, are you talking about flops? Are you talking about the processing unit was advertised in flops instead of MIPS? 'Cause I'm pretty sure there's a direct comparison between, there is a direct unit of measurement between flops and MIPS.
Let's see. PlayStation 3 architecture, technical specifications. PlayStation 3 uses a cell microprocessor, which is made up of 3.2 gigahertz power PC-based processing PPE. PlayStation 3 cell GPU achieves a theoretical maximum of 230.4 G-flops in single precise floating point, and up to 15 G-flops double precision. Anything?
Pretty sure there is a conversion between a flop and a MIP.
I do remember that they actually used what is it? There was actually a time where people built an entire like data server with PlayStation 3s. Or like a supercomputer with PlayStation 3s, because that was like the more viable option.
Yeah, it was cheaper.
I fucking love that. I fucking love that shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, all processors do floating point operation.
Yeah.
I mean...
I would have loved to be in a meeting where, like, some person from IT just suggested that to their, like, manager, being like, for that, like, that new, like, server we're building, like, I'm actually suggesting, why don't we just like buy a bunch of PlayStation 3s and just jerry rig it to like work.
Well, no, the great thing is that the original generation of PlayStation 3s you could easily install Linux on, because it was originally set up with a Linux kernel.
Yeah, that was so cool.
So yeah, it's this is, I mean, like, if it would be really difficult to get a PlayStation 3 to emulate on a PC, you wouldn't be able to install Linux on it, because Linux is like, an Intel or AMD processor chipset. I mean, like, it's an x84 or x60, no, 83 or 64 architecture. So like,
And it's actually really unfortunate that they removed it, because like people use that to like hack into it, and like use it to jailbreak PlayStation 3s and stuff. So they removed it. But like that original PlayStation 3, I've actually had one.
Yeah.
A friend of mine actually gave me one to like repair, because it had like that red light of death or something. It was basically something with like thermal paste, and like it couldn't cool down properly. But I was like 13 years old at the time. I didn't know what I was doing, so just like took it apart, did like a tube of thermal paste on it, which was way too much, and then like it died.
Yeah.
But like that thing was like so cool. You had like so many card, like you had card slots for like every single type of card imaginable, like SD, like bigger and big. It had more. It was like it had more ports than entire Apple Store combined. It was insane.
Your video on how to build a PC. First off, I fucking loved the cardboard cutout. I thought that was phenomenal. Right. Second, right. When I saw you put the thermal paste on, I was like, more paste. But the original PlayStation 3 had the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 inside of it. No, it had PlayStation. It was able to emulate the PlayStation 2. It did not have a PlayStation 2 in it. It had a 60 gig hard drive in it. The internal hardware was no different between the 60 gig and I want to say 40, or was it 20? I can't remember what they dropped it down to. But yeah, it's honestly, it wasn't any different.
Actually, I would have loved that. Like, sir, you remember how small and tiny the PlayStation 2 was at the end of its lifespan?
Oh god, yeah.
Like, I would have loved if they did some sort of like launch version of the PlayStation 3, where they just said like the launch version of the PlayStation 3, you have the PS2 inside of it, and it's like, yeah, sure, and then like the actual like it's just 1,000 units or so, but they will actually have a legit PS2 just inside of it. You open up, there's just a PS2 inside.
Oh god, I wish I had it to hand. I saw this meme which was, "Mom, can I have a PlayStation 5? We have a PlayStation 5 at home." And then it cuts to the PlayStation 5 at home, which is a PlayStation 3 duct taped to a PlayStation 2.
Oh man. Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
that is a bunch of assholes. Yep, there we go. Sonic's amazing game. Fucking hard.
I think that's it for the Framecast this week, as we're up until 3 hours in almost. Yeah, Drew, thank you so much for joining this week. Today on a Wednesday. It is Wednesday, me dudes. Or like just for like a little bit more longer. So enjoy your Wednesday today. If you want to get happy after like what you've heard today, don't worry, there'll be more great things to come. Hopefully, I mean, like if this is the worst, like it can only be up from here, right? It can only be better news from here. So but
just don't upgrade to Windows 11.
Don't go for Windows 11. Linux is the way. Buy a framework laptop. Please give me money to say that. I guess we're not being sponsored here, but could be. Drew just apparently is a ringleader of an Anonymous right now because he's like activated his. Remember that moment about it. And a whole bunch of more things have happened. We had a brand new intro. If you missed that, it's right at the start of the video. And where we're now side by side because that is possible for the power of technology. And we'll see you guys next time. Check out youtube.com/CasinoGellion. If you want to check out more of Casino's work, go to CompyCast on YouTube to search that out. Check for the channel of like about 100 subscribers or something, and give that another sub if you feel like listening to more podcasts. This time a podcast about anime. Who doesn't like anime? Who doesn't want to be a weeb inside of them? And also we have like youtube.com/10o'clock for a Warframe themed podcast. So yeah, also if you want to check this out, this will be live tomorrow on youtube.com/postma. We'll be seeing you guys next time, which will be another time when this podcast will be live. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see you around.
Bye.